There are 3 solo Wolverine movies. X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and Logan. And today, we're going to find out which one of these movies is the best Wolverine movie. Today, on Hack the Movies. What's the best Wolverine movie?
I'm not crazy about any of them.
Oh my God. It's another Mint Salad episode. Hello, Mint.
I'm Rogue Salad today.
Sorry, it's Rogue Salad.
Get it right.
She is Rogue Salad. I'm Hugh Tone. Okay, I got it. I'm Hugh Hackman. Instead of Hugh Jackman, I'm Hugh Hackman.
I'm going to threaten to touch you for how bad that was.
Oh no. And of course, we have Riley, a.k.a. Young Clipper here, right?
Who's that? I'm Riley. Wolveriley.
Oh, Wolverine. Well, no, you're Young Clipper, Riley. We've done videos before. You're very controversial.
I don't know about any of that. I have a form of amnesia that leaves me only remembering Wolverine facts.
Oh, no. So we can't talk about freeriley.fund or any of the controversy. We can only talk about Wolverine movies?
Listen, bub, I hope whoever that is freed soon, but I don't know about it.
I hope he's freed, too. I hope everyone goes to that link and helps free him, but...
I'm here to talk about my favorite Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Well, don't spoil it. It's supposed to be a mystery what the best one is, although you said favorite.
That's just my favorite.
So it could be a different one.
I'm sure that's not the best one.
You know, we talked about this, I guess, before you got amnesia, all right? Rogue Salad, why didn't you give me a heads up that Wolveriley has amnesia?
It happened so suddenly. It happened last night. It was induced by the things that induce amnesia.
Like an adamantium bullet, perhaps.
Yeah, like an adamantium bullet, maybe.
Like one of
That could
those.
do it, Mint.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Thanks for assisting me in my memory. Maybe I have amnesia too.
I'm surprised she got us into the Uber.
Yes. So, Wolverine, he's coming back, baby. And you guys might be wondering, why didn't I wait for that movie to come out to do this? I'm considering that Deadpool 3. I think that's fair to say,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a Wolverine movie.
Yeah, I will be doing a What is the Best Deadpool Movie episode. That will be happening, and Deadpool and Wolverine will be included. But today, we're just talking about our little guy, Wolverine, played by 6-foot Hugh Jackman. Not to be confused with Hugh Hackman.
Terrible casting. We're both closer in height than Hugh Jackman is to the character.
We are. Maybe you more so. How tall are you, Wolveriley?
I'm 5'1". 5'1".
Oh, you're like Ethan Ralph's height. Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah, that's right. You don't know.
I have amnesia.
You have amnesia.
I only know Wolverine stuff.
Okay, you might actually want to raise your chair a little bit. You might actually be blocked. Yeah, you're pretty blocked. You might want to adjust your chair.
I'm too fat.
Okay.
All right.
Now, careful with that. That arm fell off the other day. Is it good? Okay. All right, before we go into these movies, everyone already knows my opinions. What are your thoughts on just the X-Men movies that came out before X-Men Origins Wolverine? Like 1, 2, and 3. Do you like them? Do you think they're okay?
Well, obviously, X-Men 1 and 2 are great.
Yes.
They're cinematic masterpieces that showcase Wolverine perfectly.
Yes.
And the third one also. And what about you?
I like 1 and 2. 3 is forgettable. 4 is Origins the 5th movie, right?
Origins is the 4th movie.
Okay, so that's forgettable. The third one's forgettable.
No, just 1, 2, 3. Don't
One-
worry about Origins.
Okay, so the first one is memorable. The second one is less memorable, and the third one is forgettable.
What do you remember about the first one?
I remember the first one being
About
good.
Wolverine. Like, what did you think about Wolverine in that?
I thought he was a hunky man.
Ooh.
Hunky.
You know, his pecs were showing.
Ooh.
His claws were out, and I liked that. What's interesting is that I didn't see a lot of blood on his claws in any of those movies.
Well, don't worry. One of these movies fixes that.
Overcorrects.
I think it overcorrects, actually. All right, so you guys were fans of the films, all
Yes.
right. I remember seeing X-Men Origins Wolverine in 2009 when it came out. I was excited for this one. Okay, I was let down by X-Men 3. I was let down. I didn't hate it as much as other people did. But I was like, okay, well, that one was bad.
Yeah.
But maybe this prequel, this is when I was still not anti-prequel. I think I probably still liked the Star Wars prequels at the time this came out. Don't worry. A few years later, it finally wore off. I mean, the prequels are great. We all love the prequels,
Mint,
right?
you like Star Wars. That isn't the original trilogy. Get them.
Don't you know that Star Wars is dead?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Can you
MCU.
point me in the direction of any videos that could inform me more about this?
Type Star Wars is dead.
Don't do it.
The YouTube search algorithm, and you'll get at least 1 million videos on how Star Wars is dead. Like we didn't already know that.
Okay, but Wolverine's alive and well.
Very much.
Yeah, so I was excited for X-Men Origins Wolverine. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go see this backstory. I love Hugh Jackman. I'm all on board for this.
And it was made you happy. You were pleasantly surprised.
Real quick, the work print leaked online.
Oh, it did?
A few months before the movie came out. And I didn't watch the work print because I wanted to go in fresh. But a lot of people said it looked terrible. But then they were like, oh, but the effects aren't finished. I'm sure the effects will look good when the movie comes out.
Oh, like the Snyder Cut. It's exactly like that.
Yeah. And in both cases, the effects did not look that good when the movie came out. Remember that CGI horse in Justice League? Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, so super excited. I dressed up like Wolverine for it. I used to have a yellow and black shirt that looked like Wolverine. I did my hair and everything, and I'm like, although it
like
fell
that,
down.
like you did your hair for this episode.
No, this is a wig. I showed Mint this morning that I can actually do the Wolverine hair. It just doesn't last long. If I start sweating or something, it just immediately collapses.
I feel cheated.
I'm sorry.
Tony.
You're wearing a wig
sorry.
too. Shush.
I feel ultra cheated.
So yeah, I went to see this movie with a lady.
Oh, nice. What'd you do?
Well, the ride home, we just complained about how bad the movie was. This was a bad theater experience for me. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I didn't think they could make movies that bad. That looked like a joke film. Was this a money laundering scam? Because I've seen the other X-Men films. They didn't look anywhere near as bad as this, but that was
You were telling a story about going to see Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're describing Logan or
No.
something.
I'm describing Origins.
Weird.
So, Wolveriley, I know you don't have any memories, but do you have any memories of seeing this movie the first time? Do any of those memories survive?
Actually, I do have my memories of seeing this movie for the first time.
Okay.
I watched it on an old DVD player that my dad had given me.
Okay.
It was in 2013 that I
Okay.
watched it, and I loved it. I thought to myself, I've just got done reading Wolverine Origins, the comics, and this is a perfect adaptation for about 60 minutes. And then there's also other stuff,
Okay.
which is really good, like the advanced for its time computer graphics
No.
of the Wolverine claws.
No. Okay, so
They look good now.
I had a positive experience watching it. I thought it was really anime,
Have
like
you
Speed Racer.
Did you see any of the other X-Men movies before that, or?
Yeah, those look better, but you can tell they have a higher budget and practical effects and stuff.
I don't know. I feel like this one's budget's pretty high. I just don't think it went to the
I think
right
after
things.
2009, you have to give them like a 3-year grace period because they're using computer graphics for most of it, and it's like learning a new thing.
I got it.
You know, like James Cameron really paved the way.
Rogue Salad.
Yes.
When did you first see this movie?
I actually watched it in 2023.
Oh, wow.
I didn't watch it when it first came out. I
Oh,
watched.
what were you doing in 2009? That was so important.
I was playing Club Penguin on my new HP desktop computer when I was 8/9 years old, depending on which month it was. That's what I was doing in 2000. It was a high priority to play Club Penguin.
More important than seeing X-Men Origins
Yes,
Wolverine?
I didn't know. I didn't have any frame of reference of what X-Men were in
What? You
2009.
didn't see the first movie in 1999?
I was born in 2000.
Okay, well, you didn't see the second movie in 2000.
No, I was too busy playing Spyro, actually.
What about 2006 when X-Men 3 came out?
2006, I don't know what I was doing. I was being a 6-year-old.
It's a real gamer girl. We're learning.
Incel gamer girl.
A lot of
Incel.
Duplo. Lego Duplo.
Duplo?
Yeah, do you know what those Lego Duplos are? The bitterly
No.
big Legos, but they're like for children, like really tiny
Like
children.
thick ones
Like
for
the
the
real-
slow kids?
Thick ones for the children who don't want to choke on tiny Lego pieces.
You don't put any of them in your mouth.
Children do.
I never did.
Well, I never did, but children
I had
do.
regular Legos, didn't you, Tony?
I had regular.
Remember
Legos.
our Claw 5 for the
Boom,
regular
yeah.
Legos.
Well, I also had regular Legos, but I like the Duplos because I can make bigger structures.
Okay, that's
Okay.
enough about Legos. God damn it. All right.
That's how she felt about X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so let me read the box here.
Yeah.
For X-Men Origins Wolverine. Thank God they said X-Men Origins because they had a whole bunch of these babies planned. Didn't work out. Okay. You'll go berserker for this pulse-pounding action thriller that sinks its razor-sharp adamantium claws into the mysterious origins of Logan/Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. Discover his epically violent and romantic past, his complex relationship with Victor Creed, Sabretooth, Liev Schreiber, his encounters with new, legendary X-Men, and the ominous Weapon X program that unleashes his primal fury. So, this is based off the Origin comic, I guess.
Yeah, parts of it.
I guess the opening part was
backstory,
part of it. I'm
right?
looking
Yeah.
at a picture of the Origin comic here, and I think I know which parts they adapted. But yeah, it starts with the young baby Wolverine.
Yes.
And by that, I mean like an 8 or 9 year old. And he's sick all the time. Can you believe it?
He's
Wow, I can't believe it.
And his friend Victor's like, "Why are you always sick?" And he was like, "You used to be sick. Also, why do you have big fingernails all of a sudden? That's weird."
so they're two of the earlier mutant.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes. And like Wolverine's mutant stuff hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah.
Because it usually happens around puberty. But yeah, then we see Wolverine's dad, who looks exactly like Hugh Jackman. It's not the actor, but it's pretty good look-alike. But then we find out that that's not really his dad. Sabretooth's dad is Wolverine's dad.
Which
and-
I think they've messed that part up. In the comics, the Sabretooth's dad looks exactly like an adult Wolverine.
yeah, that probably would have made more sense, right?
Because,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? So they messed that part up.
I guess it was like a fake out, but like the scene's only like a few minutes long.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a long build.
we wouldn't have noticed he didn't look very much like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
But then it would have been cool to see the other guy and be like, oh, he looks a lot like Hugh Jackman. That's how the comic hits you.
But yeah, so Sabretooth's dad kills Wolverine's fake
Mom,
dad and
right?
mom.
Yeah.
Wait, did he kill the mom? He just runs away from the mom.
Oh, okay. So he kills the dad, and then Logan attacks.
Yeah, then Logan grows
Well,
his
James Howlett.
James
attacks.
Howlett grows his bone
Claws.
and kills him, and he's like, "I'm your father."
How cool would that be to have claws made out of bones?
No, I'm already on record. I don't like bone claws. I think they're stupid. I think they're dumb. They shouldn't look like bones.
You hate fun.
They should look like Sabretooth's nails, just longer, like ivory claws.
Yeah, but where would they come from? The bones are already in your arm.
Whatever. It looks stupid.
He's extending the carpal.
It looks
bones
stupid. You
for
know what
him.
else looks stupid, Wolveriley? When the
What?
kid is like, "Ah!" and then he runs, like, prancing out of the goddamn mansion. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was really bad.
He was like a sickly little guy. You know, he doesn't have any social skills. He
Yeah.
obviously doesn't have a strong father figure. So,
Yeah. But then Victor and him are like, "Hey, we got to run away and stick together. Let's fight in a bunch of American wars, even though we're Canadian."
they just went right down to America to avoid their parents.
I guess they did.
They run away. They cross the border, right? And then they just stay there.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Did we
during
need
the
a
war?
scene showing them cross the border? Because you brought this up when we were watching it.
I just think it's funny. that it's only the
At
American
this
wars.
point, do they know that they're immortal?
Yeah, I think they figured it out.
Okay, so what? So they're bored, right?
Yes.
Life's boring when there's no threat of dying. So let's just go fight in a war casually. That's
Yeah.
what I thought their thought process
Oh,
was.
They're just doing it for funsies.
If
Yes.
Canada had wars, maybe they would have stayed up there for war.
Yeah,
Canada did participate in some of the wars that they're participating
but there
in.
wasn't
Weren't
a
they
war
on the
happening.
Also,
Canadian side?
Canada is huge. You don't have
If
to
they're
run
on
away
our
to-
side, they're on the Canadian side, right? In
Yeah, I
these
guess
world
so.
wars.
I guess so.
So
Anyway. Yeah, they fight a bunch of wars, and then they meet Stryker.
Yep.
He puts them in Weapon X.
Yep.
where they're like mercenaries. It's like, hey, you guys, you're gonna get killed for war crimes, even though it doesn't work. I do like that they have the firing squad and they're all
They put him on the wall.
Yeah. But yeah, they put him in Weapon X, and then this is like the stuff that was alluded to in X-Men 2 when Stryker was like, if you knew the kind of person you were and the things you did.
But then they made him a good guy in this. Like, where
Yeah,
he doesn't
it
want to be
kinda
that kind of
fucks up-
person or do those things anyway.
It kind of fucks up everything because he's not like, I guess he's doing bad stuff, but then he realizes he has a conscience.
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually do really bad things.
No.
So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of telling this origin. It's like, well, was it supposed to be he was a bad guy and then he had a clean slate and he ended up doing good and
No, but in this one, he's a good guy up
Yeah.
until the clean slate, and then after also.
yeah.
So
It's
he's
not.
the-
It's a
Tony.
pretty terrible character arc. It's like, hey, you're an okay person. You just do bad things, and then it's like, hey, now you're an okay person who sometimes has to do bad things, but only to bad people.
he's the best at what he does, and what he does is pretty good.
Pretty okay,
actually.
pretty
Thank you
okay.
for saving the day.
Like, look,
Heroic
he might have done
guy.
some things without once he figured out what he was doing was bad, he tried to correct it and he walked away.
Does he even kill one innocent person other than the? Well, no, I mean, the guy who just shot his dad's not innocent. I don't think
Yeah.
he even does a bad thing in the movie.
Yeah. And he just had rage. He didn't. I don't think he meant to kill the dude,
Yeah.
really. Although in the comic, apparently, he says, "You killed my papa. I'll
Yeah.
kill you back. I'll kill you." Stupid. Yeah. And then the rest of the movie is Sabretooth, who for 200 years decided to do a buzz cut and a black coat.
Yeah.
And I guess just at some point before the 90s starts, he decided to dye his hair blonde, grow out his beard, and start wearing deer skin.
Tony, have you not had a haircut before?
I have. It's
You're
just,
bagging on
it's-
my brother Sabretooth for getting a hair.
It's just a very awkward change in the character. And this is when the X-Men film continuity wasn't totally fucked.
Okay.
This movie fucked it.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm buying it for this movie, but how does he become the Sabretooth we see later? Who's like
Well-
not talking at all, doesn't even bring up to Wolverine that they're related or
His
anything.
eyes are all glazed over and stuff. Yeah, as we go through this movie, Tony, I'll be happy to point to you the individual moments where he starts to lose his humanity and become more like the feral beast inside. That's the character arc for Sabretooth and his brother Wolverine.
Look, I'll give him some credit. Liev Schreiber's trying.
Yeah.
He's trying. It just doesn't feel like the other
I think
Sabretooth.
he is trying too hard. Like, he's got too big of a role in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he should have been a bit character instead of
Yeah.
like a main character.
I think it would help if he just looked a little bit more like Sabretooth, if he had the blonde long hair.
Yeah.
But
What about the eyes? Do you care about the white eyes that Sabretooth has in the X-Men movies?
no,
I
like
he's
those.
got like weird animalistic eyes.
Those are cool. I like those.
He doesn't do that in this one either.
You know what I don't like? His stupid run that you think is good.
It's great.
No.
Do you watch Naruto and get mad at how they run
No,
through
I don't
the
watch
trees?
Naruto at all.
Well,
Cartoons are for children.
what do you think X-Men's are for?
No, X-Men's for cool guys.
X-Men's for adult men.
Yeah. No,
No, that's
it's
an amazing run.
it's obvious wire work. Like, it's really bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen is him going, running on all fours. Rogue Sal, what did you think of Sabretooth's run?
Why is he running like that?
He's pouncing like a big
Isn't
cat.
I mean he is doing that like a big cat, but like I feel like there's more efficient ways to run on all four legs.
It also doesn't seem like he's
What?
running any faster than he would just running normally.
Yeah, like it seems like he's just like jumping
well, no, like
in
all of
the
his.
air, and
Now
then
he's using his claws to dig in
Yeah.
and using his strength to pull him up through the air.
But I feel like you
could
could just run at a brisk pace and get.
But he
the
doesn't
same-
have super feet. He
Wait.
has super fingers.
hold on, is his claws digging into the air and
No, he like
grabbing the air
you
and
know, it's like
pushing
he
him forward?
pounces. He's
It's a bad
pouncing.
effect, and that's the name of the
It
game for
doesn't.
this
It doesn't
episode.
look very particularly well
Can
executed.
we talk about Weapon X, who's in the team? There's
Yeah.
Bolt, I think, right? The electricity
Task
guy?
Force X?
No,
Wolverine is
Weapon X.
Weapon X, right?
But I thought that was just like the Weapon X program.
Oh,
What are the
okay,
teams
sure.
called? Task Force
Task
X
Force
is the
X.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, it would be the same team.
Whatever. We're just called Weapon X.
Fine.
Weapon X program.
You got Zero, Agent Zero, Hitman
Agent Zero, whose mutant power is shooting things good.
Yeah.
What if he was born in like an era where they didn't have guns?
He could throw stuff good, right?
Probably
Can he?
bow and arrow.
Actually, I don't know.
Can he?
I would
don't
think it'd
know.
be a full kinesthetic, like, body.
Maybe.
Could always make the paper in the trash bin.
I
Kind of
guess
guy.
like Bullseye.
Yeah.
What's the power specifically is the ability to control your hand to a fine degree where you can shoot a target very precisely. Is
I
that
don't know. It's stupid as well.
Can he curve the bullet around? Like, if he can control gun memes.
So is
then maybe
Bullseye a
that's
mutant
gun
now? Are we
power.
led to believe Bullseye from Daredevil is a mutant?
I don't know.
It's weird. Anyway,
Zero's powers are bad.
yes. Then there's Bolt, who's the electricity guy.
Yeah.
From Lord of the Rings.
And Lost. From
Lost. But then they announced this. They said he was Beak, and I'm like, he doesn't look like a bird. But I guess they were like, no, he's not Beak. He's someone else. And then there's Blob, played
Yes.
by Kevin Durant. This is probably one of the early Kevin Durant movies I've seen him in. Now he's killing it. He was just the bad guy in the new Planet of the Apes film and everything. He's blowing up. He's Blob.
Yep.
I do like the shot of him punching the tank and making the tank blow up. That was cool.
That was good.
That was cool. There's Blob. There's Strife. What's Will.i.am's name?
I don't know. You tell Blink?
Strife, maybe?
I don't know.
Will.i.am is there. And he can teleport.
Teleports.
But he's different than Nightcrawler. He doesn't turn into a blue cloud. He like disappears layer by layer.
Yeah,
Like, you see his
yeah.
skeleton.
His
I thought that
skeleton
was
goes
cool.
last, which
Yeah.
is cool.
I thought that was cool. Did I ever tell my Will.i.am story to you
No.
guys? So
What
years
is
ago.
your Will.i.am story,
So
Tony?
oh God, Milton! Sorry, I'm not used to having claws. Oh,
We're not
God.
at the bathroom scene yet. You can't be
Shing, shing, shing,
knocking everything down and
Snicked,
breaking it yet.
Snicked. Years ago, I went to a party for
Yeah.
Maker. It was an MCN that just got bought out by Disney. And the guy I was working for was going to the party, invited me along. And Will.i.am sang there. Well, that was the night. That was famously the night where Will.i.am's guy yelled at me, Miss Piggy's agent yelled at me, and we creeped out James Franco. But Will.i.am was trying to promote some like young boy that he was like a protege of his.
Some young boy.
Yeah,
okay.
and the kid's like song sucked. But Will.i.am sang that song where remember it's like Will.i.am and Britney, bitch. Remember that song?
I scream and shout and let it all out.
Yes.
I was trying to find a good opportunity to make that fucking pun.
Good.
But this
It's not a
opportunity,
pun.
yes,
Just
it is.
saying a reference to
No,
song
no, no,
lyric.
no. I would have been like, "Oh, did Will.i.am scream and shout and let it all out?" Aha!
Yeah, I think
but
the
it
kid
ruined
sang
it.
some weird song like "It's my birthday." It was weird. So they sang that song, but obviously Britney Spears was not there. So you would think that kid would just say his name, right? Like it's Will.i.am and whatever, bitch.
Okay, yeah.
Instead, they said nothing. It was weird.
It's Will.i.am and
They were like, "It's Will.i.am," and
Oh,
everyone's like, "Huh."
why even say the "It's Will.i.am" part?
I don't
too,
know.
right? Like-
It was very weird. It was very, very
or
weird.
you could have the little kids say Britney, bitch.
That's what he.
The whole thing
opened
was
with.
uncomfortable, and I didn't like it. And then the last member is Deadpool.
Yes.
Ryan
Well,
Reynolds.
Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson.
I wouldn't. The Deadpool.
Yeah.
Maybe not Deadpool.
Wade Wilson and Ryan Reynolds really fought for this part. He
Yep.
wanted to be Deadpool, but he had no creative control in this.
Nope.
And the filmmakers behind this movie did not give a shit about Deadpool, and they didn't know what they had with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I used to really not like Ryan Reynolds because he kept showing up in bad superhero movies. Blade Trinity, this.
Oh no, Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds is great. He was in the Crossfire commercial.
Crossfire.
Now he's good. But yeah, no, he was like really hyped up. People really wanted to see him, and he's doing like the wacky one-liners and stuff,
Yeah.
which were the highlights of Blade Trinity because that movie's boring as shit. You need Ryan Reynolds to spice it up a little bit.
Well, that's kind of what he's playing in this movie too.
Yeah.
Another witty guy with a sword.
Yeah, and that's all fine. And then he disappears, and he is a bad guy, by the way. He's like happily killing innocent people.
Innocent. They're all drug dealers and drug.
No,
dealers.
but then they go to that African village to find out where the adamantium.
Well, those people
came-
are poor. There's different scales of guilt.
Well, he's killing poor innocent people, and maybe Storm is there.
Yeah. Well, in
Yeah.
a different version of this.
Yeah, so in the
potentially.
trailer for the movies, they showed like a little girl Storm, And remember the end of that scene? It starts raining.
There's still a big lightning flash and everything. It's
things
really
imply-
dramatic weather.
Yeah, but that she wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
I think she might be in the work print. I'll have to watch the work print.
My headcanon is that she was just under the camera's line of sight. She's like a little kid, so you can't see her.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the rest of the movie is like Victor Creed is attacking members of Weapon X. They tell him that he's going to be coming for Wolverine. Wolverine's on the run. Then you find out it's one big, well, it's not really a surprise because we've seen X2. It's one big conspiracy, and Stryker has been like getting rid of evidence, and he's been kidnapping mutants to pool all their powers.
Pool them.
To make other people dead. A dead pool, if you will.
What?
Oh, man.
This is so big-brained. I would have not thought this otherwise.
And it's because Stryker hates that his son is a mutant, who we see Jason on ice. He freezes mutants. That's a thing you could do, apparently.
He's heterochromia. That's how you know he's bad guy.
Yeah.
If you have heterochromia, you're a mutant.
Also,
freak.
he kills a general in this, and I guess he got to keep his job afterwards. I guess he just got away with it.
Well, he's a higher-ranked general.
I
right?
guess so. Now, I know you're real strict with comic accuracy. Are you upset that he was still a military guy and not a preacher?
No, I'm okay with that because they changed that in X2 and X-Men, which are like better movies that kind of like boiled my frog into accepting him as a military man.
Okay.
So now in the worst movies,
you're not one of those like it has to be a 1-to-1 translation.
Like I hate that he's in Days of Future Past, and they're like, "Hey, look, it's Stryker again." He's a different guy. And I'm like, oh, "Stop doing Stryker."
Especially since that guy was supposed to be Juggernaut, and he looks nothing like Stryker.
And then they're just like, "Oh no, he's Stryker, guys."
So you're okay with the movie taking liberties?
Yes, as long as they take liberties well.
Okay. Min, are you okay with a movie taking liberties?
As long as it makes sense in this context of the movie. Like, it has to make sense as a movie plot.
So if in a comic a guy lands on a yellow car, but a film adaptation makes it a red car, you're okay with that?
No.
So.
Oh, that's...
But that's just destroying the canon.
Oh, okay.
You can't do that.
Man, I'm referencing something very specific, but you can't comment on it because you have amnesia.
Yeah, I'm just generally stating that if you change a minute detail in a live-action adaptation, you've obviously committed a cardinal sin.
So you can make big changes, but not little changes.
Big changes are fun. Little changes, that's just inconsiderate.
Also, Wolverine is dating Silver Fox, I think, is the character.
It was Moonstar. Wait, no, Dream Maker.
It's Silver Fox is the character. I watched the animated series episode where he like reunites with like Weapon X and whatnot.
Okay.
And then it's like they trick him. They're like, we have to stop Sabretooth. And the only way you could do that is to put metal on your bones. But this is just like a test, and it's like it feels like a very expensive test. Maybe don't put this in the super invincible guy that you're screwing over.
Isn't that a good reason to do it? Isn't that why they're doing it? Because he's super invincible?
I guess. But
everyone else has died.
But then they try to erase his memories, which, again, we're just going strictly on film continuity. He got the metal claws put in him and the bones.
Yep.
And then he woke up, ran away, and had amnesia, and he was covered in blood. We saw all glimpses of that in X-Men 1 and 2. So then we finally get to see the full movie here. The room looks completely different. The adamantium bonding process doesn't look that violent at all.
Actually, it does look way more PG. Like they're trying to be less.
Remember
violent.
the flashbacks? There's like blood. Like you were led to believe like cut him open and sprayed that stuff on him. But here it's just like, oh no, we'll just put needles and tubes in.
It knows how to go where it needs to go, like in your veins and stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, so that whole sequence looks terrible. He's not covered in blood when he leaves the facility. There's that horrible shot. So they put this shot of the claws going through the door in the trailer, and I just thought that was like a graphic they made for the teaser. But then it was actually in the movie. I'm like, oh, that looks really, really bad.
You didn't like it? I thought it was awesome.
No, it looks super fake.
Ching, ching.
Ben, what do you want to say about this?
First of all, you know the needles, they're like... How deep are you supposed to inject the needles into your skin so it touches your bone marrow? Like, obviously, it has to, like, hit the bone. So you're going through a bunch of muscle as well. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, how painful is that? And
Very.
And it's hot liquid, first of all.
How is it, like, evenly being
He says,
coated?
I've been through worse. And she says, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
So.
And he almost died through this This is probably the closest he almost died to.
Because they fucked it up. He would have died. That's how Deathstrike died.
Yeah.
He pumped her full of adamantium and she couldn't heal around it and she just like fucking died.
Yeah.
Unless apparently you play that video game that I have where she lives somehow. I don't know how, but she did. Yeah, but then it's not like violent at all. And I'm saying I want PG-13 violence, but it's like nothing. Yeah, and then the rest of the movie is him not with amnesia, just trying to get revenge on Stryker, and then he gets help from Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit.
Everyone all wanted Gambit.
That's where he went.
Yeah, Rogue Salad. How did you feel finally seeing Gambit in live action?
I was like, whoa, he looks pretty cool. Show me some of his powers, and his powers aren't used enough.
Okay, yeah, his powers. So he can supercharge things and make them explode.
Yes.
Got it. And I know he's fancy with the cards, but he has almost telekinesis with the cards. That's not one of his powers, right?
No,
that's not like one of it. It looks cool.
That's Louisianan. That's Cajun. That's not mutant.
And this is like early Taylor Kitsch. I think he was on the Friday Night Lights TV show at that point. And then, of course, he blew up in Battleship.
John Connor
and
of Mars.
John Carter of Mars.
Fuck, I keep saying
Actually, no, they even, by the time
Carter.
the movie came out, they just turned it to John Carter. They got rid of From Mars.
The Princess of Mars, is that what he was in?
Yeah.
A totally
Actually,
faithful
Silver
adaptation?
Fox in this movie was the princess in John Carter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we see Gambit, and they have a fight. I mean, Gambit was fine in it, but then, like, being a fan of the movies is like, oh, well, Iceman's clearly gonna date Kitty Pryde. Maybe they'll finally put Rogue with Gambit, but now like the age difference is creepy, so it doesn't really make sense.
No, the age difference is hot for Rogue. She's like into that. She's like, I want to be with a 40-year-old. She's all over Wolverine in those movies.
That's true.
So-
That's
good.
more of a fatherly thing. I know women
For
and their
him.
dads. I know, but I never got like a romantic thing out of that.
Not from Logan, but
She was really into Wolverine.
yeah, Rogue's
Well, she
crushing.
kind of remember at the end of the first one, because she absorbed so much of his power.
Yeah.
Jean says she took on a couple of your personality traits. There is a comic that's about like the 2 weeks where Wolverine was recovering, and Rogue is just going feral and angry because she has Wolverine's rage. And
Does she have the claw, the bone claws?
She doesn't have claws. She doesn't have claws.
Oh.
But she has like all his rage and stuff because she held on to him too long. Yeah. So that's like the plot of the movie, and then eventually he realizes he's double crossed and everything. He frees mutants. This movie sucks. It looks like garbage. It looks really, really, really bad. And it's not even like you go back and watch like the first entry in a film series, and you're like, well, it was the first one. This is the fourth one.
Yeah, and it's way worse than the first three.
It looks so much worse than the other ones. And we have those weird. Remember that one shot? Agent Zero kills Ma and Pa Kent. They're basically Superman's parents. He kills them, and then it does this crazy zoom through the window through all these hills
that aren't there.
Yeah, then the reverse shot, none of those hills are
None of
there,
them are
and he's
there.
only like 50 feet away.
Insane.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't you worry.
okay.
Stop doing things.
And then the biggest,
The bathroom
worst,
scene, Tony.
the bathroom scene with the metal.
The giant.
See, these look fine. Don't these look fine?
Yeah, why don't everybody just use the toys?
They figured out the claws in the first movie.
Yeah.
You have practical when they're out. You CGI when they go in and out, or they're stabbing someone.
Yeah.
We nailed it. First time
Fully
they nailed
CGI
it.
claws.
Instead, yeah, they went full CGI, but like not even unfinished CGI. I kept saying they look like the singing sword for Roger Rabbit. And then they're sparking. Every time he touches his claws on anything in this movie, they spark.
Yeah.
I guess because they're new.
It's cool.
It's one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in my life. Also, he doesn't have the Wolverine hair in this.
No. Well, towards the end,
Okay.
it starts to fray up.
Actually, no, we pointed out there's one scene where he doesn't have the Wolverine hair. And then
No.
he's driving and has the Wolverine hair. And then he gets somewhere and he doesn't have it again.
I wonder how much of that is intentional and how much of it is just like maybe they shot like a bunch of scenes with the hair and it didn't look right, or maybe they wanted to build up to the hair or something.
Don't you know that's his driving mode? Like,
Oh.
you know, his hair, it helps with his driving
Helps him
skills.
drive with
Yeah.
antennae.
Yeah.
It's a big part of his character, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, this movie looks terrible. The action's really bad. Like when he's fighting Victor, when Silver Fox dies
Yeah.
on that train yard, like the camera angles are like too choppy.
I
Like
agree.
their cutting's too frantic. They're over cranking the camera with that fast effect. and
Lots
it feels
of
like they're
cuts.
just covering up bad choreography.
Yeah.
And also he does it. It's
Unlike
stupid run.
Logan, which doesn't bother to cover it up.
No, Logan's action scenes are great. Anyway, yeah, they're terrible. The bone claws look bad.
Yep.
What was your biggest letdown in this film, Rogue Salad?
The remembering it. It's just so freaking forgettable. Like, I remember the injection of like the adamantium because that's very obvious.
Yeah.
And then his brother and him are fighting on this dam.
Oh no! It's
was
the
the
cooling tower. It's
nuclear-
3 Mile
yeah,
Island, the
they're on
famous
a-
incident where the reactor got fucked up.
I didn't know. I was
Man,
I
do
was
you
so
remember
confused.
when you were a kid and you would take Pan Am to 3 Mile Island? Do you remember that?
No, I don't think she remembers. How do you remember that joke from yesterday? I thought you had amnesia.
What joke from yesterday?
He's always been making this joke.
We were watching a movie, and Pan Am was in it because it was Catch Me If You Can, and he literally asked Mint. He's like, "Did you ever fly Pan Am?" And I looked at him like, "Pan Am closed in 1991."
Well, you know.
I don't think Mint. Although I asked her if she saw X-Men in 1999, so I guess I'm guilty too. My biggest disappointment. Well, it's definitely breaking the continuity. Gambit was a little bit of a letdown because
Really?
he's just barely in. Like he wasn't even technically bad, other than the telekinesis thing. But his fight scene was lame. Remember Wolverine's chopping up the ladder and it looks all
Yeah.
dumb.
That was awesome.
Huh?
That was amazing. Every time he chopped it, it fell one wrong and he did it again. And
Remember-
it happened 3 times.
Remember when Blob had a sexy lady tattoo, and then when he
And it's
got
fat.
fat, it became a fat. But it's not a stretched out tattoo. It's
No,
a
it's
whole
just
new
a different
tattoo of a
fat
fat
lady.
lady.
That's part of his
He got
powers.
it redone. You don't see that part. But it's actually supposed to reflect on his personality.
What's your biggest letdown in this film?
Deadpool.
Deadpool was the big one. So the merc with the mouth, they got rid of his mouth.
Yeah, how do you do that?
They make him a robot with cameras in his eyes, and they have modern computers, even though this is like 1972
Tony,
or whatever.
The only idea as bad as taking away the Merc with the Mouth's mouth is taking away Wolverine's healing factor and letting him die. Like it's the
Well,
only comparable letdown.
It depends
you could have.
on the story you're telling.
Not necessarily.
Deadpool was, and I didn't even. Here's the thing. At the time, this didn't bother me. I don't give a shit about Deadpool, really. Like, he's
Yeah.
fine. I think he's actually kind of annoying, and his fans are really, really annoying.
Yeah. Deadpool fans suck.
Yeah, and I will tell my Deadpool story how I famously hated the first movie for a few years until I watched it by myself and not in a theater full of Deadpool nerds. Don't see Deadpool movies in theaters with Deadpool nerds. It will ruin the movie.
Do they not laugh?
No, they laugh too much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And there's a joke every 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I was about to ask how loud do they laugh?
My screening loud. Deadpool was definitely a letdown in this. I hated that they fucked up Cyclops' powers, and his powers have never gone back to normal since then.
Yeah.
They gave him heat vision.
Instead of like pushing.
Yes, they're concussive energy blast. Maybe they can have heat to them, sure, but heat is not the primary thing. It's a concussive force.
Like Cyclops and Gambit should be doing the same thing.
Yes.
Making the energy go pop, like concussively.
Yeah. Because in the first movie, his visor comes off. He blows a hole through the what you call it,
The ceiling.
at the station. This one, his glasses come off, and it's just a single laser line, like Superman's heat vision. I'm like, that's not how that works. That's terrible. And then they give that. Yeah, so Deadpool has all the mutant powers. But we looked. Those swords in his arm
Where are they going?
they're too long, and they can't bend because they're indestructible. So, like, he has to just walk straight-armed until they're out all the time.
That's why the toys are accurate. The toys they were making at the time that just do this, that's how it actually would work.
I do feel bad for Ryan Reynolds. He's like, wait, this is what you're fucking doing with me? Can I do anything else? This is really bad. But yeah, then I guess Sabretooth and Wolverine decide to not fight each other, and they're gonna fight him. and then they kill him by cutting his head off. Also,
Well, Sabretooth's like, I'm the only one who gets to kill him.
yes, by the way, the worst thing ever is when Wolverine comes back to the lab and then he does that pose for no reason. He goes, "Wah!" And he
Oh, you didn't like
poses.
that?
It looks so bad. Silver Fox is Emma Frost's sister, I guess.
Yeah, they have her crystallizing.
Yes, and this we talked about in the X-Men First Class. The next movie completely erases this from canon because Emma Frost is like in her 30s in X-Men First Class in the 60s, and now she's a teenager.
There's just a lot of Emma Frosts. There's different people named that with the same powers. In the same universe.
There's multiple Emma
It's
Frosts.
just a coincidence.
Got it.
It's like,
What did you think of Professor Xavier's CGI'd face looking young?
oh, it was awful.
What about the kids running on an obvious green screen toward him? Like, this is clearly added in post.
No, a lot of the movie was clearly almost unfinished.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because the plot is so good.
Did the writer's strike have anything to do with this? The 2008 writer's strike? I wonder if that fucked up something.
I wouldn't know.
I'll give the movie some leeway if the writer's strike, the 2008 writer's strike, fucked it up. I
Yeah.
can see that being a problem.
There's clearly budget problems at the least. Like,
Yeah.
Why would you do the CGI claws?
That's so bad. It's so bad.
Is it cheaper to do CGI than practical?
Well, it's cheaper to reshoot, like just some random plate, like with different CG footage, right?
Yeah.
Than it is to go back and refilm the whole thing.
Maybe,
They
but
have
with
to do-
claws, like, you don't need CGI claws. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe
Did they
didn't-
lose the
maybe
claws
they didn't fit
that
in
day?
Space, yeah, maybe. Well, that's what I mean. Like maybe it's like a reshoot and they didn't have the props. And it's like, well, hey, we're redoing this one scene in the bathroom.
I feel like that's the most important prop you should have in a Wolverine
I mean, I
movie.
agree with you, but movies aren't made like that.
But no, this was just a miserable experience. It killed the X-Men Origins branding. They just called the next one First Class. It was supposed to be X-Men Origins Magneto,
That would have been cool.
and they got rid of that. There was supposed to be a Gambit
Gambit.
movie.
We
That
need a
didn't
Nightcrawler
happen.
one. We need X-Men Origins.
Yeah. And this movie
from
killed
Mannix.
all of it. I think Hugh Jackman's ego went a little wild. I think this humbled him just a little bit.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. It really, like, I'm one of those, like, Wolverine's kind of boring on his own. It can work. There are times it works.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he should always be with the team and not have any solo stories, but it's like he's better as part of the team.
I agree.
But this movie proved that too much Wolverine. This is too much Wolverine. You have to have something going. This is an example of a boring, self-contained Wolverine movie. Also,
Yes.
when it comes to story, so you have a mutant whose power is shooting things good. And then after he dies, you establish that you have adamantium bullets that could maybe wipe Wolverine's memories out. Why wouldn't you give that to the mutant who shoots things good?
Well, because Tony, you see, if they had introduced the bullets earlier, you would expect him to use them. And
Yeah, I would.
That's why they didn't do that.
Maybe they shouldn't have used the
Look, Stryker
mutant
wants to
who shoots
protect-
things good if they're going to have adamantium bullets and have him not use the adamantium bullets.
I think Stryker just wanted to protect his investment for as long as it was possible for him to deny culpability.
Also, Danny Houston sounded nothing like Brian Cox. I couldn't buy that was the same character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Stryker at all.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. This one blows. This one's
I mean,
pretty
it's
bad.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's like a
You are really in denial
7.
about it. You're like so in denial. You've been trying to gaslight us all weekend
How?
about how it's a great movie. The adamantium bullet erases his memory? That's stupid.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority that it works, Tony.
But yeah, I think it's time to move on to the next film.
Okay.
Can you read us The Wolverine?
The second best, in my opinion. The must-see superhero movie. What's that mean? The must-see superhero movie. Hugh Jackman returns as the Wolverine and faces his ultimate nemesis in an action-packed life-or-death battle that takes him to modern-day Japan. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be life or death?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's hard to read. I'm kind of vamping while I read the Vulnerable for the first time and pushed to his limits, Logan confronts not only lethal samurai Steel, but also his inner struggle against his own immortality. An epic fight that will leave him forever changed. So he's fighting swords and the inability to be killed by them.
So yes, after X-Men First Class made people like X-Men again and showed that you can make a good X-Men movie without Wolverine, they immediately went, let's do another solo Wolverine movie.
It's his time to shine.
And I remember at that time being like, okay. This one's weird because X-Men First Class made a bunch of changes to the film continuity. And I was like, okay, I guess they're rebooting and just picking and choosing what they like from the previous films. But then this film comes out and it's a straight up sequel to X-Men The Last Stand. Wolverine is sad. I guess he was a X-Man for a few years and then quit.
Yep.
Went to go to the woods to live with a bear.
Which is what you do.
And he has long hair now, but we were talking, okay, what kind of long hair Wolverine do you like? Where it's just natural and falls down? Or you like the Wolverine long hair that just keeps going up and up and up?
Yeah, I want Frank Miller Wolverine hair out to here.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's my favorite Wolverine long hair, where it just keeps growing up toward the sky. They didn't do that for this.
No.
Gravity exists.
He's a nice JoJo's haircut in this one. They're going full anime with it.
His eventual haircut when they shave it. It's a very toned down Wolverine haircut. But the film opens up in Japan, Nagasaki, the day it gets bombed.
And we know he was there because X-Men Origins Wolverine told us that he was in all the wars.
I guess Victor was just one town over. He was in Hiroshima.
It's weird that Victor's not in this movie at all. Like, for how much he's been in everything else, you would at least expect a cameo somewhere.
He's there. He saves the guy's life, flashes to the future.
Saves him from a nuke, by the way. I don't think you should skip over this scene.
I shouldn't. You're right.
No, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
He saves this guy, and like the guy is being protected by Wolverine from nuclear blast next to him, and Wolverine's getting all melted up and his body's getting charred. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was a great way to start a movie, is him saving a guy from a nuke. And the guy is really happy that he saves his life, so much so that he does great things to him later on.
He was supposed to die. He was supposed to kill himself, but he didn't want to. And I think Godzilla -1 stole that plot point from this film.
Oh yeah. I if I had seen the movie, if I could remember watching the movie.
No, you don't remember.
I have amnesia.
That's right. You only remember Wolverine movies.
Right. I would agree with you.
Real quick question. So I get that Wolverine can heal and grow stuff back.
Yeah.
How does his healing factor know which haircut to grow back?
Well, hair's dead already. So maybe it doesn't have anything to do with his healing factor. It's the only
But he
part
grows back his hair and it looks exactly how it did before. Like, how did it know that he wanted his haircut just like that?
Genetics.
So
maybe there is like a genetic resting place that he always goes back to.
His healing factor knows when he has a haircut that he likes. So if he gets hurt, they have to grow back that specific
or just
haircut.
maybe he doesn't like that haircut, but that's just the one he gets. Like, what if he doesn't have a choice?
No, I'm saying before and after the blast, he has the same exact haircut.
But what if that's the default haircut? Like, for his genetics or whatever.
Maybe it is.
It's the perfect length or whatever. It's the perfect... Because his muscles grow back perfectly, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. He is the most jacked in this one.
Yes.
He is the most
He finally took that
jacked.
seriously.
Yeah. I should have
He is Hugh Jack. Man.
Yes. Yeah. That's the joke. It's a very old joke.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so we find out the reason he's sad is because Jean, and me and Monica have talked about this on the show, he really needs to get over Jean. They made out once.
Yeah, she didn't seem that into him even.
She was into him, but she chose her husband. They made out once, and she immediately regretted it and brought up her husband. Yep. And then the second time they made out was when she was the Phoenix and kind of possessed and wasn't really herself. And then she tried to kill him. So they've only kissed twice. And it was followed up by something horrible. And he's just like, that was the love of my life and I want her back. And it's like, really?
I think it's because he thinks he can fix her.
He couldn't. He literally couldn't. He had to kill her, actually.
Yeah.
And I guess there were just no other hot women at the X Mansion. Storm, who's she? What the hell?
Not into her.
That's the biggest thing. It's just like, wait a minute, like Storm's single and like your age and also hot. Like,
No, nobody's his age. He's older than everybody.
okay,
There's-
yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I
And
guess
by
you're
that
right.
logic, there are plenty of students there too.
And also, he probably just has a thing for gingers.
So yeah, he's living in the woods. He's forced out of the woods by we just looked up her name, Yukio, who works for a famous, very wealthy man, Yoshida. And she's like, hey, you got to come back to Japan to meet this old guy. And he's like, I don't fucking remember who this old guy is. I have amnesia. I got to go cry about Jean.
Yeah.
She's like, no, stop crying about Jean for 1 minute. Let's go. We got to go to Japan. And he's like, okay. So he gets there and the old man's just like, you saved my life. And now I have an offer for you. I want to kill you.
All of these movies are about this too, and I hate that. It's like a whiny guy trying to die.
Yeah.
No, he's like, this guy wants to be immortal and wants to steal Wolverine's powers. But I like how Wolverine's like, you don't want that. And this guy who was afraid to die is like, I do want immortality.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, do these people who want immortality so bad never think about what happens once the Earth is gone? And
I don't think they do.
no, like, you're immortal.
I think they assume that space travel will be a thing and they can get off Earth.
And they're right.
Yeah.
There's still that.
No,
but, like,
immortality's great. I don't know what.
no, what about the heat death of the universe then?
Who cares?
I do.
Wolverine's
You're
a crybaby.
immortal. You're immortal.
Live
You're gonna live
forever.
for
Live
9
through it.
billion years.
You can time travel or go to another dimension.
Yeah, by then you could just go back to the beginning. Yeah. It would be nothing.
Is dimensions
Maybe
like
there's
are
a
there?
multiverse. You can get out of this universe into another universe.
Oh my fucking god! You're delaying the problem. You're delaying the eventual
And also,
problem.
you hate multiverses, right?
Yeah.
Why do you?
I don't like immortality.
What?
Actually, I think they explored this in that movie with Hugh Jackman. What was it called? There's a movie where he's immortal, and I think it ends with him just like floating in space. The Fountain.
not
Was
seen
it called The
that.
Fountain? I think.
We'll have to watch
I
it.
might be misremembering the movie, but I think it's The Fountain.
He's a type of immortal in The Prestige as well.
Yes, and Van Helsing. He really likes playing people who want to live forever. So yeah.
No, he doesn't want to live forever. He wants to cry about it and die.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the guy's just like, hey, look, I'll take away your healing factor. I want it, but you'll still like, because he still technically has a young body, so you'll still live like a long life.
A young body.
Yeah, and realistically, Wolverine should be like, wouldn't my adamantium poison me? And he's like,
He couldn't move anymore. He would just be on the ground like, ow.
Although the guy does
Heavy.
specialize in adamantium, so maybe he's
Yeah.
like, we'll take that out of you first. But
The deal's
Wolverine,
weird.
Wolverine turns it down. You find out more about this family that like Yoshida doesn't want to give the company to his son, played by Hiroyuki Sanada, who was just on Shogun and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
He wants to give it to his granddaughter, Mariko.
Yes.
So there's like tension between the dad and his daughter over who gets the company. The old man dies. And then Yukio, her mutant power is to like know when people are going to die and how.
Yeah.
She's not able to predict how the old man died. She screwed up.
Yeah. She also doesn't warn Logan about Logan.
No,
the
she does.
movie.
There's like a whole scene where she warns him.
Oh.
Yeah. She literally stops him and tells him the whole scene about how he's going to die.
Not like the Charles Xavier. I mean, okay. Yeah, I guess.
In this movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Anyway.
That wasn't planned.
Yeah, so Wolverine gets embedded in their family drama, and there's a whole conspiracy. We got ninjas. We got Madam Hydra, but she's not called Madam Hydra. She's Viper, played by a hot Russian lady, Svetlana something.
Tits need to be bigger.
Yeah, but they're fine. She's a model.
Bigger.
You find out she's like kind of shady. She's also a mutant who can like mix toxins and venoms and whatnot, and makes robots apparently. She suppresses his healing factor. It still works. It just doesn't work as quick as it's supposed to. So we do get a kind of vulnerable Wolverine in this. But not super vulnerable. It's not like Superman with kryptonite. It's like, oh, this adds a little bit of tension to the film. Because with overpowered heroes, you have to figure out a way around like their power. You got to figure out clever ways to make them weak. And I thought they came up with a good idea on this one where there's something draining his power.
I think more importantly though, he's also emotionally weak with that chick.
Yeah.
Living with that chick.
Vulnerable.
And you know, he's like, "Oh, I love loving happy life. Oh, I'm having
everyone
a lovely
he
life."
loves dies, and sometimes he has to kill them, like that bear and Jean. If you had to choose between Jean and the bear, who would you choose, Rogue Salad?
Jean or the bear?
Yeah.
Obviously Jean.
Oh, wow. We found one. Found one woman that won't choose the bear.
Yeah.
He did it.
Because Jean's a chick.
Instead of a man.
What if it was a man and a bear? Who are you choosing?
The dude, obviously.
Whoa.
See, same thing, same effect.
Wow. Who the fuck would want to be with the bear?
A lot of women on Twitter, apparently.
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so this one has an interesting story. I dig it, but the action's awesome, and it's got ninjas. Wolverine
have
fights
ninjas.
ninjas, which are cool. That's pretty much the reason I love this movie, because it's Wolverine fighting ninjas.
I mean, it's metal on metal action.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this a spam call? God damn it, spam.
Is it spam? Hold on, give it to me. Give it to me. She's a little busy right now. I have a question for you, though. Okay, what Wolverine movie is your favorite Wolverine movie? Now, I'm talking about the solo movies, X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, and Logan, not the actual mainline X-Men movies. Which one is your favorite?
The X-Men Origins.
You're an idiot.
Dude, I am undefeated. Wow. What a hero.
I never actually read the Wolverine Japan comics, have you?
Yeah. It's pretty accurate for the love interest part of it.
Yeah.
For the Mariko relationship.
I think
and
some of that
stuff.
was in the animated series. I did watch the
Yeah.
animated series adaptation, which, I mean, those are always loose adaptations.
Yeah, the Wolverine anime stuff's good.
Oh, I never seen that. I gotta check that out. But yeah, it's just a solid time for like the first two acts. That train fight is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
good.
Spider-Man 2 levels train fight.
It's not Shang-Chi levels of a
No,
public
that's like a stupid
transit
joke
fight.
movie. That is terrible. Let's not
You
even.
have the
Don't
worst
compare
taste.
Shang-Chi to like real movies.
What? Why? It's a great movie.
No, Shang-Chi's bad.
No, it's a good movie.
No, Shang-Chi is the X-Men Origins of the MCU.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, how I described X-Men Origins when it came out, I'm like, this is the Mortal Kombat annihilation of superhero films. It has too many characters and the effects look terrible.
Way too many characters, bad effects. I agree.
But this one's
Great
good.
effects and only 6 characters.
Yeah. Oh, I do like that they figured out a way for him to do a fastball special with like the speed from the train. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
That whole fight is awesome. When he's fighting all the ninjas in the village at the end is cool. When he's got like all like the bow and arrows in him. His fight with Yoshida, younger Yoshida, Sonata's character, that's cool because he's wearing like the samurai armor, but he's not wearing the helmet. So I'm like, wait, is this Silver Samurai? Shouldn't he be wearing like the full samurai suit? We see that the suit's there.
Shouldn't Wolverine be wearing this bad boy?
We'll talk about that at the end. But then we find out that no, there's another, because that guy dies. We find out there's another Silver Samurai. Spoiler.
Silver Samurai.
It's the old man. He lived.
Is he silver because of his gray hair or because of his sword?
Bazinga.
Okay. Okay. Here's my problem.
Yes.
I remember when the movie was coming out, I thought it looked good, and then I saw a couple previews with a robot. And then I saw the posters for these were awesome. They're on the cover there. Those like hand-drawn images of Wolverine with the Japanese flag. They made one for the robot, and I went, "What? What is that robot?" I'm like, "Where's Silver Samurai? Why is he fighting a robot?" And then I'm like, "Oh, they made Silver Samurai a robot." Now I was ready for a cyber-enhanced Silver Samurai.
Yeah.
I was ready for that. Just this one looks too much like the Destroyer from Thor and a Transformer.
They all look like that. Back to the Zack Snyder stuff. They all
Oh yeah, Zack Snyder must have loved
They
the
all
fucking
just
Silver
look like
Samurai
that.
in this. Yeah. That
all
is
third
the
act bad guys.
the third act of the film, like the tail end is weird for me because then
Yeah.
suddenly Viper is in a green latex outfit.
Yeah.
They had a futuristic lab a little bit earlier, but now they're in a different, more futuristic lab, and now there's a CGI robot. I'm like, Okay, I'm fine with all of this. It's just the rest of the movie didn't have this, so hitting us with these comic book cartoony elements at the tail end is jarring.
Oh, that's just Japanese people stuff. That's not even cartoony or comic booky.
But you know what I mean? Like, he's fighting
Yeah.
like regular Yakuza first. Like, the Viper lady is like spitting venom and stuff, but she's not wearing like a supervillain costume.
No,
and then
yeah.
at the end, she's suddenly wearing like a Power Rangers outfit, and there's a freaking robot. You're like,
So you're
"Oh."
saying they should have been wearing the outfits the whole time. It should
Yeah.
have been crazy the
I
whole
mean,
time.
figure out a way to do it, I guess.
It is weird.
They
The
keep
third
trying to be
act is
too
weird.
realistic with Wolverine.
Huh?
They're trying to be too realistic with Wolverine all the time. Don't put him in a real world.
I mean, X-Men Origins wasn't realistic.
He's a logger. That's real realistic.
Isn't he a logger in this one too?
No, in this one he's going to Japan.
No, this one he just lives in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he does for money.
He doesn't
That
need
is-
money anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's probably going to Japan for money.
No, he
reasons.
went to Japan to say bye to the guy and got roped into this whole drama.
Why would he say goodbye to the guy if it weren't for money?
I don't know. Felt like he needed to.
We don't need to cover again how you don't understand mourning or human connections or any of that.
Okay. How do you feel about the Silver Samurai being able to cut off his claws with a hot adamantium sword?
Awful.
That
Terrible.
makes sense.
Huh?
It's like
Great. It's a good idea.
no,
What
I
beats
hate it.
adamantium? Adamantium?
A super hot adamantium. I guess that's the only way to do it.
Well, hot metal cuts through metal.
I guess so.
Doesn't it have to be like one is stronger than the other in order to pierce it?
They're
Like
both exactly the same strength, but it's melting the other one, right?
Yeah.
So like,
The other one is thicker and bigger and hot.
yeah.
So
the
I guess that,
hotness is what
I
lets
don't
it
know.
cut through.
That was like a weird. I mean, it's another cool way to make them like more vulnerable is to get rid of the
Yeah.
adamantium claws.
I just
Man, do you not know how blacksmithery works? You heat up the metal and then it's malleable.
yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you need like a harder metal to beat it?
That's
I
the
assumed
hardest
it took
metal.
a really long time to get adamantium to
Like
like
hot.
its liquid form.
Yeah.
But here it's just like, let me just light up my sword for a little bit. Boop, gotcha. Although that was a big that got a reaction in the theater when his claws first got cut off. Everyone went, "Oh my god!" because no one was expecting it.
It's painful to. He also has bone marrow
Yeah.
in the middle of that, so that must be like really painful.
Yeah,
So
Yes.
I saw that and I winced because I felt this pain.
yeah.
That's what happened to my other hand.
The Silver Samurai cut it off.
Yeah.
But
off
yeah, you
the-
find out the Silver Samurai is the old guy. He was orchestrating it all, and then he gets killed by his granddaughter and her friend, who
Which I-
predicts people are gonna die. Her ninja boyfriend died. He went away. Yeah, the last act kind of kills it for me. Although it is fun to see the Viper Girl get hit in the head and break her neck after she goes bald. That's kind of fun.
The third act, it just converges weird. All of it converges. I feel like the first two acts set it up well, and then, a good movie, you need a good execution of the third act, and the third act is not very well executed. It goes by too fast, and it's like, oh, now this chick doesn't want to be with you anymore.
Well, she does, but I think he wants to get out of there.
I think
Yeah.
she values the company more.
The movie really loses steam after the big ninja fight. The
Yeah.
fight with the bad guy, the first samurai is awesome. When he shoots the
Yeah.
claws through his neck, that was cool. The fight with all the ninjas is cool as hell. Also, there was a little bit of stakes in that first fight because it starts when he's pulling the robot out off his heart and he almost
Right.
dies.
Yeah.
Because she imagines him die. She's like, "You will die with
She's
your
like-
heart in your hand." But I guess he died for a second, and his healing factor brought him back.
Counts.
That's also a cool moment because that's like when he's fully healed and he's like his muscles are like rippling and shit. That's awesome. And then all the arrows in Wolverine is awesome. Although I think there was like an extended cut where it was a little bit more graphic. I think he throws a guy through like a grinder or something. I would have liked to have seen that.
We
in
should
the
have
film.
gotten that version.
This one should have been rated R more than all the other ones, really. But yeah, the schlocky superhero ending. I know that's something weird to complain about in the superhero film, but it just doesn't fit the tone of the rest of the film. Is weird. And we would have gotten the Wolverine suit at the end, the classic yellow suit, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
Did you know about that, Mint?
I did not know.
He's in a briefcase on a plane. They film him opening it.
And it's like you just see the gloves and the mask. However, it's funny because they definitely reshot the ending, but there must have been like the scene where he like kisses Mariko or like talks to her, they like that take really good.
Yeah.
So in the background, you see, Mariko.
Mariko.
In the background, you see Yukio get handed the case with the Wolverine suit, and she's holding it. Then it cuts to a close up of like Wolverine. It cuts back. The case is just gone.
Oh.
She's just sitting there. So like, they must have been like,
She got jealous and hit it.
no, I'm guessing they like did a reshoot of it,
Yeah.
but they liked that take more, and they were like, let's hope no one notices the disappearing case in the background.
You noticed it.
I didn't notice it the first time. I
There
didn't
you
notice
go.
it until I found out about the deleted ending, and then when I
Oh.
watched, I'm like, oh, there's the case. Oh, there it is. It's gone now.
Yeah. Oh, they did plan for that.
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the practical reason of having a very, very yellow outfit?
Well, it was a little darker. It's more based on his like brownish yellow black
Okay.
one. Yeah, it's not that one. It's not like the one that he's about to
Again,
wear.
I explain this to everybody every single day of my life, but the reason superheroes can dress like this is because they're usually fucking impossible to kill.
Yeah.
Logan can wear this and draw bullet fire. The mutants all dress like this meant so that they stand out on purpose. Like, that's why the X-Men wear this stuff.
So you can direct your attention.
You're right. You're right. I bet if we went out in public, you would definitely stand out. Me and Mint would just be totally ignored.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah,
that's
I-
just.
With
More
your
people took
sexy
pictures
biceps.
of me than with you guys.
They're like, there's just a Southern Belle and a Leather Daddy walking around.
The two of you do look normal now in this century.
Yeah, I guess I could fit in now.
You could just walk around like that, I think.
This one's fun, and this is James Mangold's first X-Men film.
Which, I mean, I wish you didn't get to do them at all.
You really don't like this one?
This one's all right, but
This one's better than Origin.
Yes.
yes, it's a little bit better than Origins.
Yeah.
But that's because the comics it's based on is so much better than Origins.
Yeah.
But it follows so much less of the comics than Origins does of its comics.
Yeah. I don't know. It gave me what I wanted action-wise from like
Yeah.
a Wolverine thing, but yeah, I
It's a good like ninja movie, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I want a Wolverine movie like in Madripoor fighting pirates and stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna get what I want. I want a 5'4" guy fighting pirates.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It's solid. The music's really good in it. The ninja stuff's cool. I'm trying to think of. Oh, my favorite scene is when like the boyfriend is like cheating on Mariko, and Wolverine finds out, and he throws him off the balcony. And she's like, "How did you know there was a pool down there?" He's like, "I didn't.
I didn't.
He's just gonna kill that guy."
Oh, what's my favorite scene? It's got to be the fight with the first samurai, the son.
yeah, that was cool.
That was good.
And like I said, that train scene is awesome.
Yeah,
That train scene's so
I like trains.
cool. Do you like trains?
I like trains. I like the train scene, but what I really liked was I like seeing Wolverine in the woods. It was cool
In the beginning?
in the beginning.
You just
when he
want
was,
him to be happy.
He's in the
and
woods in
live
most
the
of these
woods.
movies.
I like seeing him in the woods.
So your favorite part of this movie is something you've seen him do in other movies.
yeah, but these woods were cool.
You're gonna be really disappointed by Logan when we review that in a few minutes. Surprising lack of woods.
At the end, they saved the woods for the end. They knew that would be
That's
Rogue
like that's all.
Sally's favorite
Yeah,
scene.
that's the big peak at the end. Is the Canadian Wild.
But yeah, this one did okay. It wasn't like no one really talks about it too much, but I guess it did
No.
okay enough.
It's very standalone. Like it's a good
Yeah.
solo movie.
Except for, I mean, it is a sequel to the trilogy, and then I guess he finds inner peace and he's able to let go of
Right.
Jean, the girl. Again, another guy's wife he made out with twice, and the second time she tried to kill him.
Well, he found a new lady to.
He found a
wish
new
for.
lady who I guess will die in a few years because Days of Future Past is what came after this.
Yeah.
And somehow he got metal again. I'm assuming Magneto gave him metal claws again because that was a little weird in Days of Future Past where he suddenly had metal claws. I'm like, didn't those
Yeah.
get cut off?
Didn't those? Well, they grow back.
Yeah. But this is also, I guess Professor X came back to life in 2006 when he died. He put his conscience in a secret twin brother he had. That was what the end of X-Men: The Last
Yeah, none
Stand.
of these movies are in the same universe. I think they're all.
This one
they're
is.
all variant stories.
This one is. This one definitely for the first three. But
I
yeah,
just kind of treat them as their own individual thing.
now
and-
after this, you kind of have to. You kind of have to after this.
Yeah, like how does Logan follow the first three movies?
Well, Logan, I think, is a little bit more self-contained.
but it follows this one. which
Yeah, I'll
follows the
explain.
first
I'll explain
three.
that when we get to that one. But yeah, it sets up for the return of Professor X. I guess Wolverine had no idea he came back to life, and I guess Professor X has been hiding for years. What's he been doing?
He's been thinking.
I like that his new body is also a paraplegic. How convenient.
Well,
How convenient.
It didn't start that way. Actually, he came back totally healthy, and then it was an accident, and it was really embarrassing that he got paraplegic.
He's like, I better walk
again.
in my new body. And they're like, you haven't walked in 30 years. Ah! And he like
He didn't
falls
know how
down.
to do it, falls down the stairs, and then he's just too ashamed of himself to come to be in public again.
Final thought on the Wolverine.
The Wolverine, it's all right. It's okay, but is it as bad as X-Men Origins? No.
Okay.
I'd say put in the middle.
Final thought on the Wolverine.
I think it's the second best of the trilogy. Right in the middle.
I love you're just spoiling your thing. That's okay.
Wait,
no, that's fine.
Big
That's fine. That's
reveal
fine.
at the end. I don't.
That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, my final thought, solid film, weak third act. It should have been a samurai, not a robot. Next up, Logan. Rogue Sally, can you read us the back of Logan?
In the near future, a weary Logan, Hugh Jackman, cares for an ailing Professor X, Patrick Stewart, in a hideout on the Mexican border. But Logan's attempts to hide from the world and his legacy are upended when a young mutant arrives, being pursued by dark forces. And then also Deadpool's on the back. He says, I wish I was in this movie, but I'm not.
These 20th Century Fox were putting out Deadpool variant covers for movies, so I got the Deadpool one. So it's Wolverine, instead of holding his daughter's hand, he's holding Deadpool's hand.
That's
Anyway.
beautiful.
Logan, James Mangold's back. It's a very loose adaptation of
Very
the
loose.
Old Man Logan story, and I guess Wolverine the End is also part of that too. So yeah, at this point, he had two movies. They did well, what's it called? The Wolverine, he's hiding out from the world. And then Days of Future Past, it's Wolverine in the future. And they said, okay, what are we going to do for Logan? Let's have him hiding from the world and put him in the future.
Yeah.
And no one said, didn't we just do that? Actually, they just gave him a cameo in the 80s for X-Men Apocalypse. I guess they... Did you remember he was in that movie? Wolverine has like one cameo. It's actually pretty awesome, his cameo.
It was a pretty good one. Do you remember that?
I actually do. He got released, and then he ran into the woods.
And he saw Jean.
He loves Wolverine in the woods.
Yeah, he literally runs in the woods and he looks like a Sasquatch. Yeah, so they put him in the future. People really like that Old Man Logan storyline. I don't think I actually ever read it. I know like Hulk has cannibal kids. He's mostly with Hawkeye in that book, right?
Yeah.
Does he go on like a trip with Hawkeye?
It's a road trip western,
Yeah.
sort of storyline across a Marvel character filled wasteland that we don't get in this. Instead, we get like 20 years from now in Arizona or whatever, New Mexico.
Yeah, which they couldn't really do any of the Marvel stuff because it was still separate at that point.
Yeah.
2029.
Yes. So the happy ending we got in Days of Future Past, where there's this clean slate and the Armageddon's done and all the mutants are back. It turns out it didn't last long. It turns out there's no new mutants. No new mutants have been born in like 20-something years, they say.
25.
25 years. So there are still mutants,
Yes.
but they're just not as frequent as they used to be.
And they're not being born.
And they're not being born. So it's kind of like Children of Men a little bit.
Yeah.
So Wolverine is hiding Professor X. Throughout the movie, you're trying to wonder why he's doing it because he's clearly losing his mind.
I like the way that this movie says information about the past throughout the movie, but it's like not in a exposition dump way. It's throughout like what's happening. Like, oh, what's happening with Professor X? Oh, he has seizures, and it makes it so people just kind of freeze.
You have to like piece together though, like what happened, because then there's like the news report that kind of tells you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, there was this event. It was similar to the one in Westchester that killed 7 X-Men, and then like Wolverine turns it off.
Yeah.
And like the sad thing is like Professor X doesn't know that he did it. It's like being hidden from him.
Yeah.
So he's struggling to find out, and then it is like really sad when he like pieces it together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
has
so he's
dementia
trying
in
to
this
keep.
one, right?
Huh?
He has dementia in this one, right?
Yes, his brain is like starting to fail. I like that they put him in a water tower and there's little holes in it, so it looks like Cerebro with all the lights in Cerebro. It's like his new Cerebro.
Oh, I didn't know
So,
that.
so this one is in its own. They said they put it in the future to not like fuck up Days of Future Past, but it kind of is in its own universe where it's like the events of the other movies happened. And like,
yeah, it's like Marvel's new variant policy.
yes, because they mentioned New York. They have his sword from the Wolverine. There are things that are mentioned. There was a deleted scene where he mentioned Sabretooth and talks about like what happened in Weapon X.
Sabretooth was real.
But yeah,
I might have liked that.
so that's why there's like X-Men comics in the movie. We're like, oh, these are like stories based off their adventures. So like those other movies were their
Quarter of it
adventures.
happened, not like that.
Yes. That so like it could go either way. You can either make this a sequel to the movies if you like that, or it could just be its own standalone thing where the movies are like a loosely connected, which I like. It kind of frees them up from stuff, and also gives us a second Caliban
We do have another Caliban.
because I have
This is better than the Apocalypse Caliban.
I haven't reviewed Apocalypse yet. Mint, I know you have.
I have.
Apparently, the productions were not talking to each other about what mutants they were using, so they accidentally used Caliban twice. And it's two very different Calibans. The one is the one that says his name in third person and everything. And then this one is Steve Merchant. It's like no one double checked this. No one
This guy's
bothered.
just helpful.
No one called the other one to ask. Also, X-Men Apocalypse set up Essex House, or Essex Corps, it's Mr. Sinister's thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was supposed to imply that
The
like
house,
Sinister's company like is the one responsible for this, but then they changed it to Alkali. It's like the new whatever Stryker was doing.
Alkali Lake.
Yeah, Targaryen or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically, a woman tells him like, "Hey, Wolverine, you got to help this little girl out. She can't speak, but actually she can." And he's like, "What? Leave me alone. I'm not Wolverine." He doesn't have his Wolverine hair in this, but it is because he's in hiding, I think.
Yeah.
He does get his cool shaved chin later on.
I don't even get why we're watching the movie. Like when it starts, I'm like, well, why did we pick up here?
I like it. I like
is
that.
this?
Look, usually I hate the old hero sucks story.
No, you explicitly don't like when James Mangold does it to people that you care about.
No. Okay, I'm
Like in
fine
Indiana
with
Jones.
Okay.
And he
so
did
I'm-
it here first.
I'm fine when it's like a super powered individual.
Oh,
Because I'm like, okay, Wolverine, he's weaker and stuff, but he still is
Professor
strong.
X is pissing himself, and
Yeah.
Wolverine's got a limp penis. I hate it.
Okay, when it comes to action stuff, if it's an old guy, if they're super powered,
Yeah.
I'm fine. When it's Indiana Jones and he's pushing 90 and he's swinging off shit, I'm like, no, fuck you. Fuck off. I can't believe that. But I like this Wolverine. His healing factor has slowed down,
I hate it.
That's bad.
and it's poisoning his bones. The adamantium's poisoning him. I mean, it's going to run out at some point.
Why?
Why? Yeah, why does it run out? Isn't
Wouldn't
he
he
just
heal himself with his healing factor?
I assume it'll
Why would
keep
his
him
healing
alive
factor
for a long
not-
time, but not permanently. And
Why?
also, he's been through a lot. He's like, he had to fight a lot of crazy things, and he's constantly, that's the thing, he's constantly using the healing factor because of the metal.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They just tell you in the movie, like, adamantium can poison us.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, but I'm dying for some other reason.
No, it's the adamantium.
No, it's the healing factor. If he had like an adamantium like poisoning, that would be better.
the healing factor is starting to wear off.
Right, but say
and
the healing factor
adamantium is
doesn't
killing.
start to wear off, and instead it's like an adamantium blade is stuck in his hip or something, and so poisoning him.
Well,
and
no, if
it's
it was his hip-
overtaking the healing factor. Because it's like, or something.
No,
Or his
it's,
healing you
no,
have to.
it's just he's getting too old
Oh
and he
yeah,
can't heal
old
as
men.
well.
No, old people can't smell good because they don't have a healing factor. But they don't. You wouldn't lose your healing factor. It's not an olfactory
Maybe he
sense.
does. How does he get old in the comic? How is he
Why
old
would he
in-
get old?
I don't know. He gets old in the comics.
In the comics, he's like 600 years old.
I would imagine-
300 years old. Look, think about how old that we're being told he's gotten from 2010 to 2020.
Well, then how does he have white hair in Days of Future Past? Are you okay with him having white hair?
No. No, I don't like that part. It's
So
weird
you're
that
gonna
he's
tell
aging
Chris
at all.
Claremont that he screwed up giving Wolverine white hair in Days of Future Past.
Yes, I would tell him that.
But also, I think Days
Go
of Future
back and
Past,
color that
I
comic.
think Days of Future Past is like 60 years ahead of the stories they were telling.
I guess
them.
so.
2029 is like 17 years ahead of the timeline.
I think
it?
it's fine that they wanted to do this. They wanted to make
In
him
20 years, he aged 70 years.
Yeah,
but he's been
wore
alive
off.
for 300.
They wore off. Maybe it's not meant to last forever.
Maybe you're right.
They should have had it so it took place 300 years in the future.
Yeah,
Well,
something
you
like
couldn't have
that. It
Professor
could have been,
X.
but that's the bad part.
Well, but
that
how
they
long-
needed Professor
How
X
long in the
to be
future is
pissing and
Old Man
shitting
Logan?
himself.
Because Hawkeye and the Hulk are still around.
Yeah, well, Hawkeye's really old.
Okay.
And the Hulk's like nearly immortal too.
Yeah, the Hulk is pretty immortal.
So
yeah.
Old Man Logan's got to, I don't know actually the answer, but it's got to be like 50, 60 years ahead.
Well, whatever.
A time jump's not
It's
usually
a fun plot device.
four
for-
presidents from now. Wolverine can't heal.
Again, they had to come up a way around his invulnerability.
Yeah.
So they came up with the whole like, oh yeah, his healing
In
factor
one
is
car's
very-
life cycle, Wolverine
Yes.
is decrepit now.
Yes, yes. I do like when he first puts out the blades, the one doesn't come out right away.
Yeah.
He's gotta like yank it out.
Ew.
So yeah, he's gotta save this little girl because she's involved in this conspiracy.
Daphne Keene's X-23.
X-23, Lara, as she's known in this.
Laura Kinney.
The Reavers are after her.
They gotta go to Canada
Yes.
for why? Why?
Because
Why?
there's a safe haven up there.
Yeah, but what makes it so safe?
There's just people there
Canadians
taking,
are nice.
taking in mutants.
Canadians
But they
are
have
so
guns.
polite.
They have guns. Is it like underground or something?
This
Yes,
is the end of the
apparently.
movie.
Okay. So, like what you said about the information being doled out to us, like not blatantly. Some of the things they cut out, like I don't even think they even filmed them. I think that was just like in the script. There was going to be, well, one, they were going to have flashbacks to Professor X killing the X-Men.
That'd be cool.
They decided not to. They decided it worked better without it. Then they were going to have like an actual underground railroad with like the mutants, and there were going to be like bigger cameos, but they were like, we don't want this to be like a cameo fest. And one of the other things was that Sabretooth was going to be the mutant sent to kill Wolverine, but then they were like, that doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense? He could
why-
at least be there with X-24. Like, who's
Why would
training
Sabretooth
X-24?
be with them? And
Well,
then
who's-
they wanted like a more silent guy, even though he's pretty silent in the original movie.
Who's training X-24 to fight like that? Like,
It's
he
just
doesn't
all
have
programmed in
somebody.
his brain with a computer, apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so she is his clone. X-23 is his clone. She came from the comics. Or no, she came from the X-Men Evolution cartoon. That was her first big she's like Harley Quinn, where she showed up in a
it?
cartoon first.
She was in Nyx.
Okay, well the version everyone knows, it's
No, X-23 is introduced in Nyx as like a prostitute. In Nixon, in Kaiden Nixon's comic book.
Is she called X-23?
Yeah.
Did it come out before X-Men Evolution?
I don't know.
No,
for
I
a
think
fact.
X-Men Evolution-
Everybody Google this right now.
I think X-Men Evolution was her introduction. And then
Joe Quesada takes credit for creating her for Nyx.
I think
So-
he added like the backstory and stuff for the comic
Okay.
version. But yeah, so it's a classic story of like the hero trying to like save a little kid, which usually I hate, but sometimes it works, like The Professional and
Yeah.
what are those Japanese films? The Tiger and something.
Tiger and Cub.
Yeah, that one.
The Professional, like Leon.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
okay.
good one.
That's a good one.
The Mandalorian, you mean? Like for your
No, that's a bad one.
Oh yeah,
That's a bad one. That's a bad
everyone loves the Mandalorian.
That one's a bad one.
yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub. not Tiger.
Apparently, people were comparing this to Last of Us, and James Mangold's like, I don't know what that is. He eventually played the game,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, it's a good game. And then they were like, you should make a movie about it. And he's like, I feel like I kind of already did, and you guys called me out on it. So yeah,
It's a good trope.
Yeah, so he's trying to get the girl north. He needs to make money to buy a boat to get Professor X out into the ocean where he can't hurt anyone. And then maybe he'll kill himself with an adamantium bullet. I have some issues about the adamantium bullet we'll get to.
I have some issues with the maybe he'll kill himself
Yeah.
part.
But the
Thank
best...
you for not killing yourself.
Thank you for not killing yourself. The best thing about this movie, though, rated R. They finally were able to give us like bloody Wolverine scenes. For this type of
This
story...
is my hottest take.
Okay, hold on. I know what you're saying. It works for this type of story. A regular X-Men movie where it's the whole team, I'd be a little turned off if there were just blood splattering all over the place. But for this kind of movie, I like it. Go.
Yeah, the guy who was not doing anything rude before the first adamantium bullet, now he's like, yeah, fuck it. If you annoy me, I'll just cut your arms off. Like, it's a totally different beast.
Also, the way that he chooses to execute these people, it's always it's like 70% of the time. 70% of the time, he chooses to go through somebody's head.
That's the quickest way.
Yeah, but like,
He's
what
being
about the?
humane?
No.
I guess. I mean, I
Also, it helps. It helps during the when Professor X is having the stroke at the casino.
Yeah.
It helps that they're all frozen. He's just hitting them in the head, so when they unfreeze, they all just collapse. If he's like cutting their arms or whatever, they might still be alive and shoot at him. So he's just like open. I love he just puts his fists through their head. It's like,
it makes me wonder how thick Skull is.
it's pretty thick.
No,
But I mean,
but he's like a super villain now. He
Yes.
went from being
and he has indestructible metal, which means these will always be super sharp. They will never go dull.
You don't need to sharpen it ever.
No, you
Well,
can't. It's indestructible metal.
Yeah, you can't change it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's just like forever sharp.
Yes.
Yes, man.
Okay.
No, but it's so hard to talk to.
I just wanted to know about the material's
It's
properties.
indestructible metal. Oh, so it can't be.
You know what?
destructible.
He has
Yes.
an adamantium sharpener that's super hot. And he sharpens
I
his
just
claws.
wanted to know that never dulls.
Never dulls.
Okay, why does a knife dull when you cut it through fruit?
It's not made out of
It's not
adamantium.
indestructible. Man, when you use a knife, you're even on paper, you're actually taking parts of the knife off of the knife.
oh,
That's what dulls it. Then you have to resharpen.
But
the
it
knife.
doesn't happen with adamantium.
Can't
Metals are
explain physics
different.
to women.
okay.
Tony.
I just wanted to know. Thank
How
you.
does he breathe with adamantium bones? Because your bones are supposed to be like a little flexible.
Yeah. How does he roll?
How does he roll?
How does he do like
Couldn't
combat
he-
moves?
Because he could technically like rip his arm off and grow a new arm.
Yeah. Sure.
But does the metal regrow?
No. Maybe there's some bullshit comic that says it does. But realistically, because they're not metal in the joints, unless
Right.
they did that to really fuck him. But yeah, he could just like he could like rip his fingers off and grow a new finger. That's less adamantium.
Well,
that
stuff
he's
gets
gotta-
cut off of him all the time, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't just remove parts of his body to get rid of the adamantium.
Why does he want to remove the adamantium?
Well, I guess he didn't want to until it got him sick, but that's when I would be like, hey, I probably can't take it out of my head, but if I can like rip pieces of my body off and grow those back, let's try it. Let's try it. Maybe the spinal cord and the head, they're kind of where they are, but I could probably rip my rib cage off.
He needs to try to come back from a cellular level.
Yeah. So I looked up X-23
Yes.
and I was like, wait, she's a little girl. Adamantium makes no sense. Apparently, this is in the comic, but I think we're led to assume she only has adamantium claws. The rest of her body does not have
Okay.
the bonding process. That's what I read, because it would be stupid to do it on a little kid because they're
Right.
supposed to grow.
No, yeah, I don't know that she has a full adamantium skeleton either.
Yeah.
Just the healing factor and then the claws.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they just gave her adamantium claws.
I like her toe claw.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
That's
and
in Nyx.
And they explain why it's in there. I like this kind of like believable future of like the self-driving trucks. Like I feel like that's something that could be around the corner.
Oh God, I hate them because like you know how they almost hit all those horses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if there's a regular semi truck, they
Those
could.
horses would be dead.
Yeah, they can at least like brake or something.
No. Well, they kind of imply that it might have been an inside job because that farmer won't sell his land. They're like, yeah, they fucked my water. They fucked with this. He's like, what about those trucks earlier? And the guy's like, it might have been them. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fight with the Reavers in X-23 when she first fights is awesome.
That was
I
great.
like they shoot like a harpoon through her and she's like still ripping them off.
That was really cool. I was worried they were
Yeah.
going to take it too easy on her.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause people don't like to see kids get hurt in
Yeah.
movies. But if you're an invincible kid,
Yeah, then
I
it's-
got to see some
yeah.
blood.
And I like Boyd Holbrook as Pierce, the leader of the Reavers.
Yeah.
They couldn't use Lady Deathstrike because I guess they killed her. But the Reavers were like cybernetic dudes.
Well, then why could they use Patrick Stewart's Xavier,
Good
Tony?
question. Because he was alive, I guess. I don't know.
You don't have to guard. You don't have to mangold guard, okay?
Also, I love that Wolverine's such a dick to Caliban.
Yeah.
He's like, you're buying a boat, a sun skipper. He's like, I can't be in the sun. Like, that's not good for me.
Sucks for you, bub.
Probably a lot of sunscreen.
Yeah,
Or
A lot
plan
of
to,
SPF.
or plan to just like ditch him.
yeah, I
No,
think
that's
that
the
was the plan, was to
plan.
just ditch him.
Oh,
He's like, thank God Caliban got killed by somebody.
Yeah. So yeah, they're on the run for a bit. They're going different places. They're trying to keep her in line. They end up at those nice farmer's house. And much like the nice farmers in X-Men
Why does he
Origins
keep doing this to nice farmers? He
This
knows
is
what's gonna
Professor
happen.
X's fault.
Yeah, it is It's because
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he's like, hey, we got to keep going. And she goes, no, I want dinner.
I want to have one last good memory
Yeah.
before I know somehow that I'm going to die. And during that entire scene, I was like just thinking something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, why would you put a scene here to be slowing down the moment if 20 minutes later they're not all going to get slaughtered, and that's what happened.
Yep.
It was predictable.
They get killed brutally by X-24. Wolverine fought so many villains in this series, but the ultimate villain was himself.
Like Terminator Genesis.
Like Terminator Genesis.
Which everybody agreed was also a good idea.
No, that was bad.
They were like, it's cool how the action hero is old now and he's fighting a younger version of himself. We all liked that.
Awful.
That's why we cheered for it in this one, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded in Terminator, but that wasn't the main issue with that film. I wish that Wolveriley.
Wolveriley.
Not Clippa.
I don't know
You
who that is. I don't know.
You've never read any book that begins with the letter I ever in your life.
Only comics I read are Wolverine, bub.
What was I saying? I forget what I was even saying now. Anyway, X-24 is the bad guy, and he kind of looks like Sabretooth, how his hair was in the first film. That's like depressing when Professor X like dies because he finally realized, he's like, this is the best night I've had in forever. And he's like, Logan, I think I know what happened in New York. I think I might have killed all the people I love.
Killed all our friends.
He's like, I'm so sad. I'm so sorry, Logan. He turns around. It's just a different Logan stabbing and killing him.
That's got to be a brutal moment for a
And then he murders the
patient.
whole family?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's rough. But I like when the assholes come to fight with the family and X-24 rips, like, cuts
kills
the
them
guy's
too.
head off. That was so fucking cool.
Why didn't Wolverine just do it? It's totally in his character in this movie to just kill people who were a little annoying.
I was sad. I was so sad because Old Man Logan, I'm just going to call him Old Man
That's
Logan.
fine.
This guy who's like, we're having a lovely time. Woohoo. And then like X-24 comes in and just stabs Xavier. I'm like, no, I hope Xavier doesn't know that this is not Logan
Doesn't
killing
think
him.
that it is him.
Yeah. And
just
thinks it's like another person that looks like Hugh Jackman, but
yeah,
younger.
we don't actually know that he knows because his eyes aren't open when Hugh gets there, are they? Do they have a final word together? Or
He's still kind of alive when
he's like
real Logan gets
dying
there.
a little. Okay,
And he's like, I'm sorry, it wasn't me.
I must have looked away.
But that fight scene between their first fight is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love that the guy like drives him into
The
a
choreography is
giant-
a little basic. It's very like
That's fun.
because it's like he's just punching him and they have claws, so they're punching each other, and then I don't know.
I will say it takes a really long time for like the film's real villain to show up, which is Richard E. Grant, who I know from Dracula 1992, which I showed you guys. You probably don't remember because you don't remember non-Wolverine movies.
Who did he play in the movie?
He was the guy who was in charge of the mental asylum who was doing drugs.
Oh,
Renfield was in there.
Don't remember him. 'Cause I only remember Wolverine.
Oh,
things.
you know what? Man, you know Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, he has that kind of familiar face.
Well, I know what movie you know him from. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. He's that First Order general that secretly has been working with the Emperor since Return of the Jedi, and then he kills the new redhead dude because he finds out he's a traitor.
yeah, I remember him. He's very memorable.
When you first put on this movie, I bet you were like, "Oh, it's that secret general in Rise of Skywalker."
I was like, wow, his looking is so uncanny. He looks so similar.
You know who else Richard E. Grant played?
No.
Old Loki in the Loki's show, season 1.
Yeah.
The one who's comic accurate as the comic
That was a good
accurate
one.
outfit.
Oh.
That's him. Good actor. It takes a while for him to show up in this. And you find out like his dad was part of Weapon X. Wolverine killed him. I like that. He's like, I think I killed him. He's like, yeah, I think he did. But yeah, he's the one that did, they used corn syrup to put stuff to suppress the mutant X gene and stop mutants from being
Stole that right from The Last of Us. Not the food did it.
Is that where it happened in The Last of Us?
In the show, not in the game. I'm making a joke about the show coming after.
Honestly,
this.
food, genetics and food, that's been a thing for like the original Jurassic Park was written because people were worried about genetically engineering food.
What's wrong with genetically engineering your food?
There could be some problem. I'm not 100% against it, but there could be some
bananas,
unethical things.
baby, bananas.
You can
better
get
than
them
ever.
really big bananas if you genetically modify your food. Did you know that carrots used to be purple?
No, I didn't.
Well, now you know.
I did not know that. But I think the problem is like it could like fuck up like ecosystems and stuff. I know they fuck up like smaller farmers that aren't part of like big industries.
Oh, for sure.
I know people complain about the newest Jurassic Park because they went real heavy on that. But like Monsanto has been accused of like real shady stuff, so I get it to a point. But yeah, so Wolverine's got to save the kids, and it leads to a final fight, and it's really, really sad.
I really like how he's like, oh, this Eden doesn't exist because you found it in a comic book. That means it's wrong. And then I like how he and her are driving after Xavier's gone. He falls asleep. He's falling asleep on the road, and she's like, all right, just chill here. And then she drives the rest of the way. It makes me wonder, how long are her legs? How can she see?
Oh, hey. She shoots out that claw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Does that add like 6 inches? She's like 4 feet tall.
Yes.
Can
There you go. We
can a
answered it.
6 foot, can a 4'6" tall person drive a car?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
I drive and I'm 5'1".
I drive and I'm 5'7", so I don't know this.
So you don't know if 5'6"
Me
can
and
do
me
it.
and Min
Yeah.
are 5'7" giants. You're not 5'7".
No, you're 5'1".
I saw a report recently they were 5'7", and I disagreed with it.
I wish I was 5'7".
Where did they get 5? You're not 5'7". I got to stand next to you. I don't think you're 5'7".
It doesn't.
Anyway,
None of those things are real. They're just whatever you tell them. Same with the weight. Same with the eye color. You can just say whatever you want.
all right. Yeah. I think it's a really good story. It's a nice, simple, dramatic story. He's facing this guy who's immortal is now facing mortality, even though he kind of did it in the previous film. But
Oh, is that what he
so.
did in the previous film?
Yeah, and he's just looking for a reason to live and survive, and now he realizes like he has a daughter, and that'll continue his legacy.
I thought he was just wanting to die the entire time. And then like, oh
Should be
man,
called 13 Reasons Wolverine.
he was like, oh man, I have this adamantium bullet because one day
Okay.
I'll want to shoot myself.
Okay, the adamantium bullet. How they use it on the X-24 doesn't make any sense. Because it explodes his head. I'm like, well, I don't think the bullet is super hot. Like, what I thought was, like, you would shoot him, like, through the eye.
And lobotomize him.
Yeah, so the brain can't heal, and the brain would, like, yeah, there'd be adamantium. Well, no, the adamantium wouldn't actually explode.
Right.
The adamantium exploding, and a credit to X-Men Origins Wolverine, that did adamantium bullets, right?
Or he just shoots him in the back of the head and he falls down.
Yeah, or he shoots him in the head, and
front of
like,
the
it just,
head.
it just gets flattened, I guess, but...
I imagine it just digs in just enough that it hurts.
But the
him.
fact that it explodes in this, I feel like we needed a more sci-fi reason for the head exploding, even though it's a cool look.
Yeah, the clones are bad and they don't work all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes they explode if they get hurt or something.
Maybe because he had computers in his brains, much like Deadpool did. Maybe his skull wasn't fully adamantium. I don't know.
Or maybe they needed that R rating.
Yeah.
Needed
But
that
there's ways that I
R
feel like if
rating.
you shot him through the eye, that would have worked. Something like
Yeah.
that could have worked. But yeah, that death is pretty violent. Although I realized when I was watching this morning, whenever they go to the wide shots, X-24 is just gone. His body's just gone. He falls down right next to Wolverine, and then all the wide shots, he just disappears.
That's awful.
Who cares?
Maybe those other mutants got rid of him. The one who has Iceman's power, and the other one who could throw like leaves and shit at people. That dude who gets hit with all like the wood,
Yeah, that was
like
cool.
splinters and like shatters. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
This
The other guy can
movie-
lift the ground up and shit.
This movie's a better horror movie at
Yeah.
times than the New Mutants was. A horror
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, it really was.
This one's like, yeah, look at this guy impaled by sticks by
Yeah.
a child. Like, whoa.
But no, it was I thought it was a nice story.
I hated the ending. I was
when he died.
yeah,
That was
because
sad.
it was sad. He died, and I'm
Why
like,
was it sad? Why am I being sad in a Wolverine movie?
Because it's sad, and then he's just like, "Oh, this is what this feels like." And
it's just he's just gone, and I'm like, great. I don't go to movies
but
to
he died being a hero
experience
after
life.
running away from it so long. He became a hero again, which again he kind of did in the previous
I-
Wolverine film.
I go to movies to escape the crippling reality of death, okay? And here I am at the end of the movie. Oh, your lovely character that everybody loves is dead, and now what?
Well, he's
Thanks.
been doing it for like over a decade at that point.
Oh, wow, over a decade.
Yeah.
Can't do
And then-
things for over a decade?
Well, eventually he is going to age. Like Wolverine looks like he's aging now. Hugh Jackman now. I'm like, buddy, time caught up with you. Still looks great for his age.
How old is he?
He's got to be like 50
his
something.
50s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise looks great for his age, but time is finally starting to catch up with him.
Yeah, for
He had a
sure.
few good decades where he still like looked maybe 30-ish, but it caught up with him eventually.
You already know my gripe with the ending. I get him dying. That's fine. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Not 16 years after the X-Men movies. The fuck are you guys talking about? That was like 2007, I thought. The Last Stand. Doesn't that take place in 2007?
It takes place in 2006, but well, here's the thing.
Tony, it's
If
2029.
This,
He's
but
like,
if this is in continuity with those movies,
Yeah.
then that timeline got erased and there was a new Days of Future Past timeline.
right, but it's still like
But
how
that
old
means
he
that
is
means
in
they
comparison
stopped.
to those stories.
That is, if you actually consider it canon, that's kind of sad that they stopped an apocalypse and then there was another apocalypse.
Yes.
Maybe not for the world, just mutants. So actually, it's a worse apocalypse for them.
yeah. Should have taken place 80 years later.
Okay, but other than that, I think it's a well-made
No
movie.
Xavier. We don't need Xavier. We could have had an adult
It was-
Laura Kinney.
It was so sad when Xavier died and Logan died, and then Xavier came back for Doctor Strange too, and now Wolverine's coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Why
they
can't
said
they
it's
just
a
commit?
different. They said it's a different Wolverine.
Well, yeah. But
So-
however, I will give Hugh Jackman props because he said that he would come back for a Deadpool movie.
yeah.
I think when he made up this decision, he didn't realize how big Deadpool was going to get. Like the first one was a big hit at this point,
Yeah.
but then the second one did well. So he's like, and he's friends with Ryan Reynolds. So he was like, I will come back for a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
So he was true to that. However, Patrick Stewart, I think I read in his interview, like he felt like this was the ending, but he said, like, I mean, never rule it out. They could probably bring me back. And
Well,
and again, that was a different
In
Professor
Doctor
X.
Strange, that was the 90s Professor.
Well,
X,
it
right?
looked like the 90s Professor X, but it wasn't quite that
Okay.
Professor X. It was just made to look like him.
Well, with the variants thing, they're all
Yeah.
one decision away from being a different character, right?
But that was in the universe where red means go and greens means stop.
Hopefully the Wolverine we're getting is not from that universe, but from just like a total new.
I don't know why.
thing.
People said they wanted to be the cartoon Wolverine. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. He's too tall.
Nah, it doesn't make sense.
And also, they brought the cartoon back, and it's awesome. Don't fuck with it.
Yeah, don't mess with that.
There was that one episode where they showed the Watcher from the What If series in the sky, and I was like, no, keep that away for now. Keep that away. Keep that MCU away from classic X-Men. Keep it away. Keep it away.
Yeah, keep doing the classic cartoons though. Give it.
Oh, dude,
Silver
I would
Surfer,
love-
Fantastic Four, Spider-Man.
I would love a Silver Surfer 98. That'd
Yeah,
be
that'd be
great.
cool.
Silver Surfer was my favorite when I was a kid. I would love a new Hulk cartoon because the first season of the cartoon
Wait,
was
what if
awesome.
we did a movie, a Silver Surfer movie, but he's old, but Galactus is having seizures, and Silver Surfer wants to fucking kill himself? Wouldn't that be a great
I
film?
don't know if that would make sense. Dude, so they cast like the best guy to be Galactus in the new movie.
Yeah.
That guy who has the really cool deep voice.
Deep voice.
And it's like, but Silver Surfer's a lady and Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic. And like,
Yeah.
you've already ruined the movie.
The annoying uncle from The Bear is the thing.
I don't mind him. He was good as Micro in The Punisher. And the other two are good. That's the thing. Everything about that movie looks a lot of fun except for Lady Silver Surfer and Pedro Pascal. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are so close. So close.
Deadpool and Wolverine looks very fun, except that Deadpool's a cuck now. Did you see
Yeah, I
that?
didn't like that. I didn't like that what I saw. But they bring back the real Sabretooth, not your Liev Schreiber Sabretooth, the real one that people
That's
like.
cool.
But yeah,
I like
Logan, I think it's great. Now, I think the audience has already figured out, but Rogue Salad. What is the best Wolverine movie? What is the worst Wolverine movie? And what is your favorite? Best and favorite could be the same thing.
Best and favorite. Honestly, Even though people say Logan is awesome, I think it's overrated. But it is the best Wolverine movie. Is Logan? Close second. I'd say is the Wolverine. That's a good one. And then X-Men Origins. I mean, yeah, you do talk about the origin of Wolverine, and that's cool. But like the only cool part of X-Men Origins is when he gets the adamantium,
Adamantium, you said it right.
Adamantium into his bones, like, or covering his bones or whatever. That's the only cool part of that movie.
It kind of proved the whole arc in X-Men 2 is that he wasn't going to be haunted by his past anymore, and he was just going to accept who he was now. And I'm like, wow, that's a good character moment. I don't think we need to see his origin. And then they showed us his origin.
And then with the Wolverine, they decided he didn't move on, and that wasn't a good character moment, actually.
So
he's very haunted.
So Wolveriley,
yes,
who is not young Klippa.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Can't comment on any ongoing controversies. What is?
I have a controversy I can comment on.
What is that?
That has been ongoing throughout this episode.
Okay.
This is my least favorite, but it is the best Wolverine movie.
Oh, you are picking it for bet. You've been shitting on this movie all weekend.
It's well made. It just sucks. It's like
off camera, he's been giving me shit.
Well, my favorite one is that one. X-Men Origins Wolverine is my favorite.
You know, you were hyping it up when we watched it the other night. I feel like I saw you go through the stages of denial.
Yeah.
We're like, no, this movie's good. And then like a cartoony action scene would happen. He'd be like, no, it's still good. It's not that bad.
So what happened is I put this off for years, knowing that it has to be overrated, like definitionally overrated.
Yeah.
Too many people said too good of things about it. It wasn't going to live up to that. And I'm too big of a Wolverine fan to think that it could. So I didn't watch it until last month. And when I watched it, I thought, wow, I hate everything about this. It's so cynical. He's such a whiny little baby. Oh, he's going to cry and fight a younger version of himself who's probably going to fuck his girlfriend. It was a very negative experience for me. If he had a girlfriend, X-24 would have fucked it. And so that, when we were watching it, I did, of course, realize sucks. But I had such fond nostalgia memories.
That's fine. I have nostalgic memories for movies that kind of suck.
Best, least favorite.
I'm looking at a couple movies that kind of suck that I thought memories for.
Oh, yeah, all these suck.
No, not all of them.
Here's bad.
But I mean, like Spawn and...
What's your favorite part of Virus?
I reviewed that recently.
Well...
my favorite part is when the guy comes in and he goes, Squeaky, or Steve.
There we go.
Part. Anyway, his name was Squeaky.
But yeah, so Origins is my favorite, but this is the best and least favorite.
Okay. All right. Obviously, the best is Logan.
Yeah.
That's pretty clear. However, my favorite...
If you like derivatives of Sam Peckinpah films,
yes.
Sure.
It's like a Western.
So
what do they play? They play Shane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandfather used to watch the shit out of Shane. I think he was more into True Grit, though. I think I have True Grit.
True Grit's better than Shane.
True Grit right there. Anyway, my favorite is the Wolverine, though. Even though the ending's real shocky, I just like seeing him in Japan. I like seeing him fight ninjas and samurais. It's the one I've watched the most.
Did you like the scene in which Wolverine, in The Wolverine, ate sushi and ramen in 2 different scenes?
Yes.
That was awesome.
Those are my favorite scenes in the world.
Well, while we're in costume still, we can go get sushi today.
Yeah!
Eat them with our claws.
And then they'll be like, why do you only have one set of claws?
The Wolverine happened.
I guess you don't remember how you lost that second glove with the claws.
No idea, Tony. It's weird. I would have obviously brought it with me when I packed to come here, but I lost my memory yesterday. So
Oh, darn.
I don't know what would have happened to me.
Darn. And of course, the worst one is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Much like if you're like Riley or that spam caller, you're idiots. It's not good. But I want to know. Everyone knows what we think.
Yes.
I think we should roll some footage of people we met at Too Many Games and see what they think is the best Wolverine right now. What's the best Wolverine movie?
I'm not crazy about any of them, to be honest. I'm a big fan of James. I almost said James McAvoy. James Mangold.
Okay.
I like James Mangold. So he directed the second 2. I mean, Origins is, to even call it a movie, is an insult to is an insult to porn.
It looks like an unfinished video game cutscene. It's a terrible film.
It's so bad. The second one was like reading a book. This is boring, but I think it's better than watching a dumb Origins movie. The third one, it was a lot of whining, but it was bloody at least.
Okay.
So I guess I'd go with the third one, and that's the most James Mangold of the three.
Yes.
Right? So yeah.
Thank you.
What's your favorite Wolverine movie?
Probably X-Men, the first one. So I remember that being the best one.
That's not a Wolverine movie, though.
Oh.
The Wolverine movies are X-Men Origins, The Wolverine, and Logan.
Okay, I've only seen Origins, and it was better than the critics said at the time, which is not good. It's like a strong 3 to a light 4.
Favorite Wolverine movie, X-Men Origins.
Yeah, there we go.
What is the best / your favorite Wolverine movie?
I think I'm gonna have to say Logan. I think you get the whole story. I mean, it's a good setup. I don't think you can really go wrong with Logan.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Tony.
I have an important question.
What is so important?
What is the best Wolverine movie?
It's Wolverine Origins.
No, get out of here. What is the best Wolverine movie?
The one with Deadpool where Ryan Reynolds has his mouth sewn. That's the only one I can think of.
X-Men Origins. Go awesome.
Oh, so that's what it was. I actually didn't know. What's the extra most bestest Wolverine?
The extra best. Say that again.
Extra most bestest.
I love that. I do like Logan, but I'm gonna say Origins.
Oh, that's the right answer.
I'm gonna say Origins.
What's your favorite Wolverine movie?
Yeah, Wolverine Origins. Yahoo!
What is the best one? The Wolverine, Logan, or X-Men Origins?
Logan, definitely Logan. Did you see the trailers for those? Those trailers were amazing.
That's
and then the
true.
actual movie itself was so mood heavy.
That's true. That's a good answer.
Hello, gaming mixologist.
Hello, Tony from Hack Movies.
I have a question.
Yes,
What is the best Wolverine movie?
best Wolverine movie? X-Men Origins.
Hello, Shadowheart.
Hello.
I have an important question.
Yes.
What is your favorite Wolverine movie?
Oh shit. Logan.
Logan, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your favorite Wolverine?
My favorite Wolverine, that would have to be the Wolverine.
Oh.
Tom, what is the best Wolverine movie?
Oh, it's gotta be X2.
No. Wolverine is standalone movie.
X-Men Origins is the answer.
No.
Origins! Is there another one other than Origins?
Okay, well, we actually saw the Wolverine in theaters together.
That's the one. All right, I enjoyed that one, yes.
What's your favorite Wolverine movie?
Well, I got to agree with Tony from Hack the Movies. Wolverine Origins is the best movie.
Hey, what is the best Wolverine movie?
Jeez, Logan.
Thank you.
It is Logan? Did I answer right?
We'll find out, but yes, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Hey guys, I'm here with famous wrestler Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle, what is your favorite, what is the best Wolverine movie? Whoa! What's the best Wolverine movie, Hornswoggle?
What is it? The one where he dresses up like a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, that's good enough.
We're here to find out what your favorite Wolverine movie is. So look right down the camera and tell us what your favorite Wolverine movie is and why.
I don't know. Origins gets a bad rap. It's got Billy Yen in it, and Ryan Reynolds, and the Gambit was pretty nice.
Well, there you go. Another person has answered that Origins is the best Wolverine movie.
Wow. More people agreed with you than I would have preferred.
I paid them all when you weren't looking.
No!
I paid them all off.
Well, at least famous comedian Joe DeRosa was on my side.
Yes.
But yes, that is it from us. I hope you enjoyed our What is the Best Wolverine episode. I hope you enjoyed my cosplay.
Yeah, I made this myself, but Tony bought his from Spirit Halloween.
No. That's bought. I assume that's bought.
Never. I don't buy things.
That looks like it's bought.
This was traded for.
So this, let me show it off here. Hold on.
Yeah.
This is my outfit from Dune. The black latex I wore in Dune. And this is yellow electrical tape.
You got to turn around and show us the box.
Yeah, hold on.
There you go. Because for some reason, Wolverine has this box on his actual outfit and it doesn't need to be there.
So it is specifically the first movie's design, which I have right there. Even though the action figure is not really accurate, because it had less line work. I was going to do X2 and X3, and I had the yellow tape, and I'm like, no, what's it look like in the first one? This is too much work. I'm like, oh, the first one has less lines. I'm going to do less lines. But yeah, I had to pull up pictures of like an auction when they auctioned off one of the latex suits. I could have bought like $1,000 motorcycle riding suit that looks like it. But now that sounded like a fart sound because the leather, the fake leather rubs
It's been
up
doing
against-
that the entire time, Tony.
I know. I was hoping no one noticed, but yeah, the leather keeps rubbing on the chair.
I always notice.
Thank you. And yes, they don't make Wolverine wigs, so I had to buy a wizard wig.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd think there'd be
It's
more.
an iconic part of the costume is the hair.
So I had to buy a wizard wig and spray paint it black, and then I had to like put bobby pins and stuff in it because it was all frilled and weird looking. Now I look more like Ace Ventura from Ace Ventura 2.
True.
That is it from us. Wolveriley, you have amnesia, so you can't remember.
I have no idea where to find me. Where can I find me? Where am I now? Help me.
Rogue Salad, can you help Wolveriley and plug your guys' stuff?
Well, you can help Wolveriley over here. Go to freeriley.fund.
Don't ask what that's about. We'll tell you off camera, right?
All right. Also,
you didn't do anything. You're fine. You're fine.
I'm Wolveriley.
I do daily movie reviews every day, every single day. YouTube.com.
Wait, how many have you done?
Since of this recording, 669 daily movie reviews in a row.
Whoa! Have you done any X-Men movies, including the ones we just talked about?
Actually, yes. All of them.
Whoa!
Yeah. You can find that at youtube.com/ASC Presents and all of my other social media links. You can find that at autisticboobs.com.
What an episode! So go follow them there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out the X-Men playlist we have on the channel now. So we reviewed all the mainline movies.
Yeah.
Or no, most of the mainline movies. We did 1, 2, 3, First Class, Days of Future Past. We just did the 3 Wolverines. And on one of our wrap-ups, I clipped it on the second channel. We did X-Men 97 with Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic.
What about New Mutants?
That'll be at the very end.
Okay.
I still need to do.
Is that the last one that came out?
Yes.
Before they abandoned Fox?
Yes, I still need to do Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and the 3 Deadpools.
Why did we watch that so early? I think we watched that before any other one.
Dude, that was the first movie I saw in theaters when theaters started to open up was New Mutants.
Oh, I think it was because it was new on whatever streaming site we were watching.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is new. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess
It seemed
we'll
very
watch
standalone. It worked fine.
But I'm glad we did this episode.
Yes.
FreeRiley.fund. I'll explain what that is afterwards.
I don't get to stab anybody in this episode. Last year's Hack the Movies is a different game. You come up here, you get to do a skit where you fight vampires or something.
That was 2 years ago now.
I wanted us to kill each other in your backyard. That's...
No, look, I walked around all weekend like that. I want to take this off afterwards. So yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Follow us, and check out those other episodes. Goodbye.
Talking about tapes.
You want me to put you to sleep now?
Go for it.
Jiggly.
Jigglypuff, 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 Jiggly.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.